A glowing blue prompt asks, Taesung SSI, how are you feeling today? To which the dark-haired man in glasses thinks, the same question every day, implying a bleak routine. From behind, the dark-haired man continues the routine, thinking, the same answer each time, as the unseen questioner acknowledges with, I see. The dark-haired doctor with glasses offers to increase the medication dosage, prompting the black-haired patient in the hospital gown to question, Nurse Kim? The doctor confirms, yes, doc, while the patient inwardly laments, no longer caring about discovering where things went wrong. A woman with dark hair, presumably Nurse Kim, kindly offers to guide the despondent black-haired patient to his room. The black-haired patient reflects that only pitying gazes and relentless insurance payments remain, as people around him are engrossed in their own lives. The black-haired patient sits silently in his wheelchair, being pushed by Nurse Kim, his expression somber as he moves through the sterile hospital environment. The grim reality of being half-paralyzed weighs heavily, setting a somber tone. A black ink splat bursts across the white, declaring in stark red lettering, it was an accident. The black-haired patient sits in his wheelchair, a hand pushing him, as narration reveals his half-paralysis resulted from a drunk-driving car accident. The black-haired man recalls the day of the accident, a painfully ordinary day, as he casually stopped by the convenience store. He remembers heading to the convenience store for beer and snacks to end the day, as a soft bubble sound accompanies a plastic bag. However, a brown-haired man with green eyes appears, realizing one thing was different that day, followed by a startled, oh. A sudden bright light engulfs the brown-haired man as he looks back, his eyes widening in shock. Another, oh, echoing the impending danger. A devastating crash sounds as the impact sends a can and bag flying, his last conscious thought, oh, confirming he was simply unlucky. A horrible pain ended his ordinary life, as Nurse Kim gently helps the black-haired patient onto his bed, instructing him to go slowly. The black-haired patient sits on his hospital bed, holding a cup, his gaze fixed downwards in silent contemplation. Night falls over Korea University Hospital, its lights shining against the dark, cloudy sky. The black-haired patient holds his phone, reflecting that with half his body paralyzed, reading novels is all he can do now. A hand holds a phone displaying an advertisement for Magician Who Dominates the World, offering 50 free chapters to celebrate the series' end. The black-haired patient finds comfort in reading novels with happy endings, especially when depressed, as he nears the conclusion of Magician Who Dominates the World. The novel's narrative describes magician Aiden, who relentlessly destroyed everything in his path. Magician Aiden claimed victory, ending the old world and recreating a new one to his liking, as depicted in scenes of conflict and conquest. In the novel's conclusion, everyone lost their memories and lived a happy life. The novel concludes with the triumphant declaration, now we'll all live as happy winners. But the black-haired patient exclaims, what the hell, in disbelief at the ending message. The black-haired patient reacts incredulously, questioning why the main character, who protected the world, would undo it all, end it, and create a new one just for himself. The black-haired patient cries out, why can't I just be happy? As tears stream down his face, devastated by the novel's ending and his own situation. A sudden shing sounds as a blue holographic message appears, announcing the beginning of Magician Who Dominates the World, causing the brown-haired man's eyes to snap open in astonishment. The brown-haired man sits up with a thump, startled, exclaiming, WH? What? As he wonders if he just saw a message appear, utterly confused by what just happened. The brown-haired man sits on a rustic bed, looking around the unfamiliar wooden room with a bewildered expression. Surrounded by the rustic room, the brown-haired man questions his reality, muttering, am I? The brown-haired man, a tear escaping his eye, wonders if he's still dreaming after falling asleep in the hospital, and frantically searches for his phone. The brown-haired man stares, shocked, at his reflection in the water, a large question mark and exclamation point hovering above him. WH what? My face, the brown-haired man exclaims in horror, realizing his reflection shows someone else, leaving him in utter bewilderment. The brown-haired man looks at his legs on the wooden floor, questioning, my legs. Just now, as a new realization dawns, a large pause sound accompanies a holographic screen that flashes before the brown-haired man, announcing, this is the world of Magician Who Dominates the World. The brown-haired man stares, wide-eyed, at the glowing blue screen, asking, "What is this?" The brown-haired man recognizes the holographic screen's title, Magician Who Dominates the World, as it declares he must now live as the character Mord Vernars. The brown-haired man's eyes widen, realizing the holographic title is from the novel he was reading just last night. He gasps, realizing Mord is merely an extra in the novel. Then a terrifying red message flashes. "If Mord dies, you die too," making him pause abruptly. His bare feet touch the wooden floor as a chilling thought strikes him. If this is real? The brown-haired man stares in utter disbelief, exclaiming, "No way!" His feet flex on the wooden floor as he realizes, "I couldn't even feel my legs before," hinting at a miraculous recovery. The brown-haired man stands fully upright with a jack, his gaze fixed in astonishment on his now functional legs. A tear glistens in the brown-haired man's eye as he marvels at the feeling. "I can feel the wooden floor under my feet so clearly." A blue holographic screen flashes, announcing loading information as system data fills the void. The brown-haired man's eyes glow blue as the system begins reading Mord's memories, applying the world's common language Prin, and registering all novel contents. The brown-haired man cries out, "Ah!" as he begins to feel all the overwhelming memories of this new body, flashes of past events assaulting him. The brown-haired man clutches his head, a pained "Quebec" escaping him as memories, "Flowing into my head," reveal the difficult life Mord led. The scene shows a bandaged, bloodied hand, somberly concluding, and how it ended. Amidst swirling blue and purple energy, the powerful brown-haired man, Mord Vernars, stands revealed as a son of the strange Archduke Vernars family. Mord Vernars is revealed to be the bastard son of the Vernars family's patriarch, someone so powerful that purple energy emanates from him. The narrative explains how the powerful Mord would still be ambushed and killed by the protagonists during a magic ritual in the novel. It is further revealed that Mord is merely an extra with only a supporting role in the story. A zang sounds as a blue holographic message appears before the brown-haired man, instructing him to change the fate of destruction to have his wish granted. The brown-haired man deduces that the message likely refers to the destructive ending of the novel. The black-haired patient, seemingly dreaming, wonders if his current situation is not real. The brown-haired man expresses profound weariness with his past life. A large bud appears, signaling a significant shift in thought or decision. The brown-haired man vows not to repeat his half-paralyzed life and wishes not to wake up, accepting any trick if it keeps him from his old reality, concluding he has a wish. The brown-haired man's initial simple wish was to regain his body before the accident, but he quickly reconsiders, deciding he cannot be satisfied with that as the "change the fate of destruction" command echoes. The brown-haired man realizes his powerful advantage. He possesses all the crucial information about the novel magician who dominates the world. He also understands he now holds all of Mord's power and talents, emphasizing the mission to change the fate of destruction. The brown-haired man decides it's worth trying to change the fate, then abruptly shifts his thought. The narrative introduces Mord Vernars, a bastard child and part of the Archduke Vernars family's bloodline, as the muscular brown-haired man is seen from behind. Mord was cruelly branded the bastard, who killed his own mother and lived a weak life, constantly harassed by others. Young Mord's sad face reflects the taunts of being called a monstrous bastard, and questioned if he thinks he can play with them. The guilt consumed Mord until he reached a turning point. Vernar's bloodline members awaken powers when they turn 15. The narrative explains the agonizing process of awakening powers, describing a KEUK, sound of pain comparable to burning alive, but promising strong powers afterward. However, the survival chance for those outside the Archduke family is low. A powerful TDA sounds as the silhouette of a person glows with intense red energy, visually depicting the painful awakening. Despite the less than 1 in 5 chance, Mord survives the new blood awakening and obtains strong powers. An old letter reveals that any Vernars who survives their 15th birthday must report to the Archduke Vernars family. A powerful horned silhouette looms ominously over the Grand Archduke Vernars family castle. Mord agrees to undergo a test to finally be acknowledged by his estranged father. The brown-haired man, Mord, realizes he has just arrived at the Archduke Vernars family residence for the test. The brown-haired man, Mord, acknowledges that the Archduke Vernars is a main antagonist in the novel and that he has extensive knowledge of the family. The brown-haired man, Mord, recalls that the Archduke Vernar's family already has many direct lineage children. Mord, desperate for parental acknowledgement after growing up without parents, was exploited by the Archduke, who raised him to be his hunting dog. Mord's new blood power made him strong enough to challenge even the protagonist, though the brown-haired man is unsure of its full extent. A KWA and OGH sounds as the brown-haired man smiles, expressing his desire to test his powers. The muscular, dark-haired man with a beard questions the brown-haired man, Mord, about the day, while Mord recognizes him from his memories. Instructor Todd sternly demands to know why the brown-haired man Mord is staring, while Mord identifies him as the test overseer. The brown-haired man Mord addresses Instructor Todd, confirming his identity, while inwardly noting he is physically larger than him. Instructor Todd thinks he notices a difference in Mord's tone, and wonders what is going on. The brown-haired man Mord observes that his own eyes look different. Instructor Todd reminds the brown-haired man Mord that he is to be tested today, and Mord asks about the type of test. Instructor Todd explains the test will measure his potential and assumes he can fight despite his lack of training. The brown-haired man Mord reacts with mild surprise at the thought of having to fight already. A KWA sounds as the brown-haired man Mord clenches his hand, feeling relieved that it's not a fight to the death and glad about the opportunity. The brown-haired man Mord reveals his underlying desire to test his newfound powers. The instructor walks away, leading the brown-haired man Mord onward. As they run, Instructor Todd asks the brown-haired man if he remembers what he told him yesterday. The brown-haired man Mord feigns forgetfulness, prompting Instructor Todd to question if he already forgot. Instructor Todd sternly reminds the brown-haired man Mord not to reveal he is the Archduke's son, and Mord agrees. The brown-haired man Mord reflects that the unspoken rule for bastards is pointless, as rumors of him, and even a prior meeting with the Archduke, have already spread, and everyone will know his status once he becomes an official warrior. Instructor Todd addresses a group of 5 muscular men, confirming their presence. A blue-haired man asks if the brown-haired man, Mord, is the new test subject, and Mord observes they appear to be experienced warriors rather than trainees. Instructor Todd explains that a Vernars fights differently than an ordinary warrior, implying superior innate ability. A KWA sounds as the brown-haired man, Mord, recalls that an untrained Vernars is a weapon, and once trained, they fight without relying on external weapons. The brown-haired man, Mord, concludes that Vernar's warriors fight solely with their own bodies. The brown-haired man, Mord, affirms his knowledge that the Archduke Vernar's family is the continent's best warrior organization, achieving their position through hand-to-hand combat without needing weapons. The brown-haired man, Mord, muses on the Vernar's seemingly impossible fighting style, concluding that no weapon can overpower their physique. Instructor Todd explains that the test will determine their affiliation and training, then asks the light brown-haired man, Vince, if he is ready, to which Vince confidently affirms. Instructor Todd instructs them to fight Vince, emphasizing that the battle's outcome will decide their future and prove their Vernar's bloodline. The brown-haired man, Mord, walks forward, deep in thought, to face the light brown-haired man, Vince, who stands under a grand archway. The light brown-haired man, Vince, confidently challenges the brown-haired man, Mord, to fight, wondering whose powerful son he might be. The brown-haired man, Mord, reflects on the discovery of other Vernar's bastards and the Archduke's numerous affairs. Mord clenches his fist, resolving that power is crucial for freedom in this world, and despite wishing for a peaceful life, he accepts he has no other choice. The brown-haired man, Mord, stands in a fighting stance, white energy flickering around his hands, ready to prove his skills. With a decisive ta, the brown-haired man, Mord, launches a powerful punch towards his opponent. Mord's eyes widen in surprise, with a question mark hovering above him as he is seemingly caught off guard. With a forceful yang, the brown-haired man, Mord, is knocked to the ground by his opponent's attack. The light brown-haired man, Vince, expresses shock that Mord knew how to fight, while Mord thinks he is surprisingly mobile and his basic training wasn't useless. The brown-haired man, Mord, braces for impact, acknowledging that his fighting skills, though learned as a hobby, are proving somewhat useful. TCH. You're pretty good. The light brown-haired man, Vince, accuses Mord of lying about his fighting and experience. Mord defensively questions Vince's accusation of lying, while Vince insists Mord's posture clearly shows he's a trained fighter. The brown-haired man, Mord, claims he only copied others, attempting to deflect Vince's suspicions about his fighting prowess. The brown-haired man, Mord, stands silently, a contemplative look on his shadowed face. With a ta, the brown-haired man, Mord, delivers a powerful, mana-infused blow that sends the light brown-haired man, Vince, soaring backward. The brown-haired man, Mord, is momentarily airborne, bracing himself from an impact. A muscular brown-haired man exclaims in shock that Vince is using mana against a kid lacking mana combat training, but Instructor Todd firmly tells him to let them be. Muscular brown-haired man continues to protest to Instructor Todd, but the instructor sternly reiterates his command to let the fight unfold. The brown-haired man, Mord, stands in a fighting stance, contemplating Vince's decision to use mana against him. The light brown-haired man, Vince, glares fiercely, demanding if Mord dares to insult him. With a zick, the light brown-haired man, Vince, charges a blue mana attack, declaring he will hold back slightly for Mord's sake. With a swift HWIK, the brown-haired man, Mord, skillfully dodges or deflects Vince's blue mana attack. Vince is stunned, wondering how Mord managed to dodge his powerful attack. Vince appears bewildered, questioning how a newbie like Mord could possess such unexpected abilities. Vince's surprise deepens as he realizes Mord could easily discern his mana combat technique. The brown-haired man, Mord, confidently charges his own blue mana, asking if it's his turn, while Vince stares in disbelief, thinking, impossible. Vince cries out in frustration and pain, disbelieving that he could lose to a newbie after years of training in mana combat technique. With a resounding ziang, the brown-haired man, Mord, delivers a devastating blow that sends Vince flying backward through the air. Vince screams in agony, blood splattering from his mouth after taking a brutal hit. With a powerful pung, the brown-haired man, Mord, unleashes another sweeping attack, sending Vince soaring further through the air. The onlookers are utterly shocked, with Instructor Todd admitting he thought Mord was a newbie, as another man exclaims that Mord sent an official warrior like Vince flying. The brown-haired man, Mord, stands with his back to the viewer, facing the grand entrance, having triumphed in the test. The astonished onlookers observe that Mord is what an insane guy. With a resounding zang, the brown-haired man, Mord, delivers a devastating blow that sends Vince flying backward through the air. Vince screams in agony, blood splattering from his mouth, after taking a brutal hit. With a powerful pung, the brown-haired man, Mord, unleashes another sweeping attack, sending Vince soaring further through the air. The onlookers are utterly shocked, with Instructor Todd admitting he thought Mord was a newbie, as another man exclaims that Mord sent an official warrior like Vince flying. The brown-haired man, Mord, stands with his back to the viewer, facing the grand entrance, having triumphed in the test. The astonished onlookers observe that Mord is what an insane guy. The brown-haired man, Mord, walks away with soft jobeak sounds, leaving the fight area. The light brown-haired man, Vince, sits defeated and injured on the ground. The brown-haired man, Mord, stands tall and victorious over the light brown-haired man, Vince, who remains seated on the ground. The light brown-haired man, Vince, reflects that he narrowly dodged a dangerous attack, but feels he has begun to understand how to use his power. The brown-haired man, Mord, experiences a twitch in his hand as he senses something new, prompting a curious, Vince questions Mord's endurance, remarking that warriors must be uniquely built to recover so quickly. The brown-haired man, Mord, fixes a determined gaze forward, his expression intense. The muscular brown-haired man is bewildered by Mord's single-punch victory over Vince, while another onlooker questions Mord's mysterious origin. The brown-haired man, Mord, inwardly states he doesn't know how to control his strength and fears he might kill the light brown-haired man if the fight continues. Instructor Todd's eyes narrow as he thinks that he is both the tester and the instructor. Instructor Todd stands, thinking that the instructor's purpose is to measure the tester's potential and push their limits, and a tester cannot defeat the instructor. Mord's eyes are shown in the bottom panel. Instructor Todd, with his back to the viewer, tells the brown-haired man Mord and the three muscular men that that's enough. Instructor Todd questions the brown-haired man Mord about why he lied, to which Mord replies, "What lie?" Instructor Todd sternly reminds the brown-haired man Mord that he claimed to have never learned to fight. Instructor Todd demands to know how a person unlearned in mana combat technique could know how to use mana, as Mord inwardly notes Instructor Todd is doubting him just as expected. The brown-haired man, Mord, asks if the blue energy flickering around his hand is mana, claiming he had a similar experience after a high fever, but knows little about it, and deciding he doesn't need to reveal everything. A narrative explains that the previous conversation was about the experience of the new blood awakening as Mord stands with Instructor Todd. Mord could actually use mana even before his new blood awakening, demonstrating his talent, as a figure with dark hair and glowing blue eyes is surrounded by purple energy. The god of combat, Vernars, a muscular white-haired man, is depicted amidst red flames, followed by the goddess of the heavens, Arita, a pale-skinned woman with long, light blue hair surrounded by ethereal blue light. The goddess of the heavens floats in a serene blue light, as text explains that the blood of the two gods, Vernars and Arita, exists within Mord's body. The brown-haired man, Mord, with striking blue eyes, is surrounded by swirling purple and pink energy, creating an incredible synergy that makes him a miraculous being. A brown-haired man, seen from behind amidst blue lightning, represents Mord, as text explains he was blessed with his genetics and, despite never being officially trained until age 15, possesses immense power. In just 7 years, a white-haired man with glowing blue eyes, surrounded by blue energy, then standing next to a darker-haired man, signifies Mord's transformation, as text reveals he becomes stronger than Archduke Vernars, the strongest successor of the god of combat. A glowing ring of light on a sparkling blue background marks a narrative transition, indicating that is how his story went. Instructor Todd remarks, "So that's what happened," then tells the brown-haired man, Mord, that if he's speaking the truth, he's a monster. Instructor Todd questions the brown-haired man, Mord, if he knows Vince, and Mord responds that he met him for the first time today, so no. The light brown-haired man, Vince, is shown in a faded image, as text describes him as someone who was trained from a young age and passed a strict test. Instructor Todd informs the brown-haired man, Mord, that he just beat Vince, to which Mord thoughtfully replies, "I see." Instructor Todd's eye shows him in deep contemplation. Instructor Todd exclaims that the brown-haired man, Mord, passed the test with 200 points when the maximum was 100, then asks what he will do now, while Mord inwardly wonders what Instructor Todd means, as he hasn't explained anything, asking, "What the hell?" The brown-haired man, Mord, asks Instructor Todd what his test score means, to which Instructor Todd explains it determines his current level, adding that the Archduke Vernars family has a 3-level curriculum for warriors. An instructor explains that fulfilling the conditions at each level promotes a warrior to the next, while images show a man training with green aura and another being struck during combat. A final punch lands on a training partner as text confirms that passing the test at the last level qualifies one as an official warrior. Instructor Todd looks surprised as the brown-haired man, Mord, boldly asks if he can be placed directly on the first level. The brown-haired man, Mord, questions if he shouldn't start at the first level to learn mana combat from the basics, then asks if the second or third level will also teach him the basics. Instructor Todd firmly replies, no, then asks the brown-haired man, Mord, if he doesn't get promoted anyway once he fulfills the conditions. Mord agrees, thinking it would be reasonable to take the test to become an official warrior right away. A soft SSIEOK sound accompanies the brown-haired man, Mord, as he smiles, confidently declaring he will go to the first level. A close-up on Instructor Todd's eye reveals his internal thought. This guy, he means it. Well, he's a bastard anyway. A HWIK sound accompanies Instructor Todd as he thinks this might be for the better, and admits he can't give the brown-haired man, Mord, any preferential treatment anyway. Instructor Todd tells the brown-haired man, Mord, that today's tasks are complete and someone will guide him to the next level tomorrow, as the scene transitions to a flickering candle in a dark, quiet room. A teal siog sound accompanies the brown-haired man, Mord, as he lies in bed, thinking the test went smoothly. The brown-haired man, Mord, wonders if the Archduke also underwent this intense process, pondering how the original novel didn't mention the process of Mord becoming the Archduke Vernars' hidden weapon. A Beolsiog sound accompanies the brown-haired man, Mord, as he lies in bed, realizing it makes sense that such details weren't in the novel, since he was merely an extra. The brown-haired man, Mord, reflects that the novel only stated Archduke Furness maximized his potential and dominated his mind to use him as a human weapon, wondering how the original Mord performed on this test. The brown-haired man Mord ponders that the original Mord was always beaten as a child and never fought back, wondering if he was simply defeated and sent to the first level, concluding that he feels that's likely what happened. A close-up on the brown-haired man, Mord's face, reveals his understanding of why he had to be the one to possess Mord's body. A dark-haired man reflects that a certain trait wasn't helpful in his past life, but he always fought when something felt unfair or unjustified. A seuk sound accompanies a view of the brown-haired man, Mord's lower body, as he realizes that Mord's original life was the opposite of his own. The brown-haired man, Mord, walks forward, resolved to save this world from destruction. The brown-haired man, Mord, determines that to save the world, he must stop the novel's protagonist, Ailing. A glowing hand surrounded by blue energy is shown as a narrative explains that the one who completes the world fragments, which contain the essence of this world, can be called the supreme god, also known as the magician. A glowing magical circle and crystal precede a figure enveloped in a burst of energy, as text explains that the great mage Ailing completes the world fragments to become a being who dominates the entire world and everything within it. A powerful blue magical attack with a KWA sound fills the panel, as text reveals that the result of Ailing's dominance was the destruction of the world. Silhouettes of fighting figures amidst chaotic explosions illustrate the conflict, as text explains that Ailing, as a god, not only killed his enemies, but also silenced his friends, and the novel focused on the fight between Ailing and his enemies before he became the world's destroyer. The brown-haired man, Mord, with a determined expression, makes a quack sound as he clenches his fist, resolving to prevent Ailing from destroying the world, no matter the cost. A dark, sparkling background with a bright light at the bottom suggests a critical turning point, as text states this might be his last opportunity. The brown-haired man, Mord, with blue glowing eyes, stands resolute, declaring that he will now live as Mord instead of Taesung. A shining red and gold crest symbolizes the Archduke Vernars family, who rule the Principality of Vernars. The Grand Vernars Castle, central to the nation, is depicted as luxurious as any royal castle. The extensive training facilities for warriors are shown situated at the outskirts of the castle in the Outer Castle 3rd region. A voice explains that the new resident will live in the first-level dormitory, conveniently located near the training facility. The brown-haired man, Mord, with blue eyes, observes that the training facility feels vast, even larger than most university campuses, as expected of the Vernars family. The brown-haired man, Mord, with blue eyes, reacts with a wick and an inquisitive as he notices something significant in his surroundings. The light brown-haired man informs the brown-haired man, Mord, that the distant sounds are likely coming from the 3rd-level training grounds. The brown-haired man, Mord, looks out a window, thinking that even 2nd-level trainees on their way to becoming Vernars' warriors easily surpass human limits. A powerful display of purple and pink energy surrounds a silhouette, as text explains that Vernars warriors can merge the powers of multiple people. We will soon arrive at the Outer Castle 3rd region. A dak-gudak sounds as a carriage approaches a large castle, while a voice informs the passenger that their instructor should be waiting. The brown-haired man, Mord, stands by the carriage, acknowledging a thank you, and thinks about another big guy in the 1st level. Muscular, dark blue-haired man introduces himself as Instructor Hayes, the 1st-level instructor, and tells the brown-haired man, Mord, to call him Newbie. Instructor Hayes, the muscular, dark blue-haired man, questions the brown-haired man, Mord, about his name, presuming he performed poorly on the test, given his large physique landed him in the 1st level. The brown-haired man, Mord, informs Instructor Hayes, the muscular, dark, blue-haired man, that he defeated Vince in the test, causing Instructor Hayes to react with shock, questioning if he beat an official warrior. Instructor Hayes, the muscular, dark, blue-haired man, asks the brown-haired man, Mord, why he is in the 1st level if he won the test. The brown-haired man, Mord, with blue eyes, smiles, stating there's no reason to lie if the truth will be revealed anyway, and explains he has never learned mana combat or any other battle techniques, so he came to learn the basics. Instructor Hayes, the muscular, dark blue-haired man, tells the brown-haired man, Mord, to follow him, while inwardly wondering if Mord actually won against Vince without any prior training. The brown-haired man Mord walks with Geobiok sounds, as Instructor Hayes, the muscular dark blue-haired man, reminds him not to distract the other people amidst training. The brown-haired man, Mord, with blue eyes, thinks intently that even at the first level, the trainees must be strong as they are training to become Vernar's warriors. A glowing blue text box announces the arrival of the new trainee, Mord. Several young trainees, including 2 brown-haired women, react with surprised expressions to Mord's presence. Instructor Hayes, the muscular dark blue-haired man, tells the trainees to continue their training, while the brown-haired man, Mord, looks on, thinking that they are all just kids. The brown-haired man, Mord, with blue eyes, sweats in frustration, wondering if he should have gone to the 3rd level and if he can still change his mind. Instructor Hayes, the muscular dark blue-haired man, questions the brown-haired man, Mord, about never learning mana combat technique, to which Mord confirms he hasn't but possesses mana. Instructor Hayes, the muscular dark blue-haired man, tells the brown-haired man, Mord, that possessing mana is expected after a new blood awakening, and teaching him will be easy. Instructor Hayes, the muscular dark blue-haired man, explains the basic steps of mana use: detecting ether, creating mana, collecting mana, and then basic mana control and sense amplification, which would then allow progression to the 2nd level. The brown-haired man, Mord, asks if he doesn't need to learn any combat skills, while Instructor Hayes, the muscular dark blue-haired man, asks if he desires to stay longer, implying he can arrange it. The brown-haired man, Mord, clarifies that's not what he meant, as Instructor Hayes, the muscular dark blue-haired man, confidently states he knows what Mord is thinking. Instructor Hayes, the muscular dark blue-haired man, informs the brown-haired man, Mord, that he will teach him a few things, after which he will train independently, and the 2nd level instructor will correct any issues if his skills are terrible. The brown-haired man, Mord, with blue eyes, thanks Instructor Hayes, the muscular dark blue-haired man, affirming his need to start from basics to build a good foundation and properly utilize his power. The brown-haired man, Mord, surrounded by glowing blue mana, practices as other trainees look on. The brown-haired man, Mord, stands engulfed in swirling blue energy as an unseen voice questions if he is joking, amazed by his power. Instructor Hayes, the muscular dark blue-haired man, informs the brown-haired man, Mord, that he has graduated from the 1st level, causing Mord to react with surprise, asking, "That's really it?" A sparkling, dark background with a glowing text box announces that the brown-haired man, Mord, can start moving on to the 2nd level tomorrow. A man glows with blue energy as text explains the 2nd level's physical reinforcement lessons involve hardening the body to prevent damage and amplifying physical abilities to transcend muscle limits. A powerful blue energy burst with a jong sound fills the panel, as text notes that physical reinforcement is a very difficult skill where many trainees hit a wall. A bright blue glowing portal in a rocky cave reveals a lush green forest beyond. The brown-haired man, Mord, stands with Instructor Hayes, the muscular dark blue-haired man, and 3 trainees, as a text box reveals Mord mastered the physical reinforcement in less than half an hour. The brown-haired man, Mord, thinks he only has the practice duel test left, while Instructor Hayes, the muscular dark blue-haired man, inwardly thinks Mord is already far beyond the 2nd level. Instructor Hayes, the muscular dark blue-haired man, tells the brown-haired man, Mord, that he doesn't need to move on to the next level today and can go directly to the 3rd level starting tomorrow. Instructor Hayes, the muscular dark blue-haired man, explains that while the first 2 levels are easy, the 3rd will be difficult, as it involves facing people from the bloodline, making graduation a challenge. Instructor Hayes, the muscular dark blue-haired man, warns the brown-haired man, Mord, that he will face the bloodline members without having learned any battle skills. The brown-haired man, Mord, with blue eyes, realizes he hasn't learned any battle skills, and Instructor Hayes, the muscular dark blue-haired man, must have thought he was hiding his powers when he sent him to the 2nd level. Instructor Hayes, the muscular dark blue-haired man, tells the brown-haired man, Mord, that brute strength is enough for the 2nd level, but becoming a warrior at the 3rd requires hard work, to which Mord agrees. The brown-haired man, Mord, with blue eyes, inwardly expresses excitement to meet people with new blood power at the 3rd level, acknowledging it will be different. A bright, sunny day with a rainbow over the castle signifies a new day and a change of scene, Several trainees, including a red-haired man, discuss rumors of someone from the Werner's bloodline passing the second level within 2 days and question why they initially went to the first level. A brown-haired man asks the red-haired man, Fionn, his plans, to which Fionn suggests the new person went to the first level to gain the Archduke's attention. The red-haired man, Fionn, with a scar on his cheek, resolves to show the new person the ranks within the Werner's bloodline, just as someone calls out his name. The dark-haired man sighs, thinking he's found his man and should have just skipped the first 2 levels. A red-haired man with a scar questions the dark-haired man's identity, introducing himself as Fionn, the captain of Class 2, as the dark-haired man wonders if he's also of the Werner's bloodline. The dark-haired man introduces himself as Mord, and confirms he is of the Werner's bloodline, prompting a furious, aura-flaring reaction from Fionn. Engulfed in a raging red aura, Fionn aggressively asks Mord if he thinks this place is a joke. Mord calmly faces Fionn's power, assuring him he would not have come here if he considered it a joke. Mord advises the irate Fionn to calm down as he is not in a good mood, but Fionn smirks, noting that Mord can withstand his pressure as expected of a Renars. Unfazed, Mord asks if Fionn really thought such a stupid skill would intimidate him, leaving the red-haired man speechless. Gathering a ball of fire, Fionn scoffs at Mord's recent blood awakening, questioning if he believes he's the only Vernars present. Fionn's red aura intensifies as he menacingly declares his intention to kill Mord on the spot. 2 onlookers worry for the newbie, believing he's doomed against Fionn, unless an instructor intervenes quickly. With a stern gaze, Mord declares he won't hold back either, since his opponent is also a Vernars. Fionn lunges forward, his fist glowing with immense red power as he initiates his attack. With a look of pure rage, Fionn closes in on Mord, vowing to make him pay for his disrespectful words. Fionn's attack creates a massive explosion of earth, causing a spectator to remark on the tremendous power and Mord's terrible luck. The dust cloud from the explosion settles as the spectator voices a faint hope that the newcomer somehow survived. Through the settling dust, the shocked onlookers see not only a figure standing, but a hand beginning to emerge unscathed. Mord looks over his shoulder, disappointed in Fionn's strength and asking, "What?" as he had been looking forward to a real challenge. Standing over the defeated Fionn, Mord dismisses him as nothing more than a common village bully. The scene transitions, showing the defeated Fionn on the ground against a dramatic cosmic backdrop, emphasizing the swift end of the confrontation. Fionn staggers to his feet, angrily shouting that Mord only got lucky with a single punch. Mord coldly corrects him, stating it wasn't luck but Fionn's own weakness that caused his defeat. Enraged, Fionn yells, "Shut up!" and charges forward, his fists blazing with fiery red energy. Mord effortlessly sidesteps Fionn's reckless, flame-wreathed punch. In a blur of motion, Mord prepares a counterattack as a pale blue energy gathers in his hand. Mord lands a decisive, glowing chop to the back of Fionn's neck, knocking him out instantly. Mord looks at his hand, questioning what just happened, seemingly bewildered by how easily he won. On the ground, Fionn thinks in disbelief that Mord is far too weak for a 3rd-level Vernars. Mord analyzes his own performance, wondering if his current mana technique is flawed, concluding he must be weaker than the Mord from the novel. A fellow trainee rushes to Fionn's side, trying to wake him up as Fionn groggily responds. Fionn violently shoves his comrade away, insisting the fight isn't over as Mord watches from a distance. Mord calmly states the obvious to his opponent, "You passed out." After Mord specifies he was out for 10 seconds, Fionn erupts in denial, claiming he just let his guard down. Mord looks down on him with contempt, calling it pathetic to lower one's guard against an aspiring warrior. Fionn explodes with rage at the insult, his body erupting in a powerful, uncontrolled red aura. The onlookers panic as Fionn's power awakens, shouting for someone to get an instructor before he loses control. As a trainee warns Mord to run for his life, Mord, now crackling with red energy himself, nonchalantly asks, "Ah, really?" Mord internally notes that Fionn isn't controlling awakened blood, but merely raw mana, a power level fitting for a bastard child. A new figure arrives on the scene, stepping into view and asking about the source of the commotion. An older, white-haired man arrives, and a trainee nervously identifies him as Instructor Daisley, reporting the fight between Fionn and the new guy. When asked if he will stop them, Instructor Daisley decides against it, saying he will watch the fight unfold. Instructor Daisley thinks to himself that Fionn is strong enough to be a warrior, viewing this as a perfect chance to test his power. Mord reflects on his situation, realizing others see him as just another Vernars bastard, whose death wouldn't cause any problems. Surrounded by crackling red lightning, Fionn vows that Mord will pay with his life for angering him. Mord watches Fionn gather his power, surprised that he can also use that particular technique. As Fionn leaps into the air, radiating immense energy, narrative text explains he is using an advanced skill that turns the body into a weapon. The text further explains the skill creates a stronger energy form as Mord braces for the incoming attack. Shouting body impulse, Fionn unleashes his power in a devastating strike that violently impacts the ground. Mord observes the massive explosive attack, realizing he'll be in trouble if he gets hit by it. Fionn challenges Mord from afar, daring him not to run as red lightning crackles around him. Fionn unleashes a powerful blast of concentrated energy from his glowing fist. The brown-haired man, Mord, strikes the red-haired man, Fionn, who is enveloped in red energy, with a forceful punch that causes Fionn to reel back with a nosebleed, eliciting a shocked, the red-haired man, Fionn, with a nosebleed and a tear, glares angrily amidst red lightning, cursing Mord. The red-haired man, Fionn, surrounded by red energy, repeatedly attacks the brown-haired man, Mord, who effortlessly dodges, as Fionn expresses frustration that his attacks aren't working on someone not using new blood power. The white-haired man watches the fight, remarking that the new trainee isn't taking any hits, while the light blue-haired man questions if the new trainee's attacks are hitting Fionn either, noting Fionn seems fine. The white-haired man's eyes narrow intensely, believing Mord definitely landed a hit. The red-haired man, Fionn, pants heavily, surrounded by red lightning, while the white-haired man notes Fionn's impulse is decreasing, causing Fionn to angrily call Mord a little rat. The red-haired man, Fionn, surrounded by red energy, resolves to fight more seriously this time against the brown-haired man, Mord. The brown-haired man, Mord, delivers a powerful blow to the red-haired man, Fionn, sending him backward with a forceful strike. The red-haired man, Fionn, winces in pain, his face bruised and bleeding, letting out a pained cry. The red-haired man, Fionn, cries out in pain as he falls, surrounded by red energy, while the brown-haired man, Mord, apologizes, admitting he tried to hold back but it still hurt. The red-haired man, Fionn, lies on the ground crying, clutching his stomach amidst red lightning, angrily cursing that the fight would have been over if he had landed one more hit, and insults Mord for running like a coward. The brown-haired man, Mord, thinks Fionn is running around because he knows he's finished if Mord lands a single hit. The brown-haired man, Mord, with a confident smirk, declares he will stop dodging, stating he was going easy, but Fionn irritated him. The red-haired man, Fionn, grins maniacally, thinking Mord fell for his trap, then charges forward, engulfed in red energy, warning Mord not to regret this. The brown-haired man, Mord, stands calmly as he appears to be enveloped in red energy from Fionn's attack. The brown-haired man, Mord, casually catches the red-haired man, Fionn's, punch, stating that an impulse attack isn't effective against a much weaker opponent. The brown-haired man, Mord, enveloped in blue energy, looks determined, reflecting that the encounter was a good lesson. A glowing text box explains that it's common sense for an impulse user to always win against a non-user. The red-haired man, Fionn, stares in wide-eyed shock and fear, realizing something significant about Mord's power. The red-haired man, Fionn, is sent flying by the brown-haired man, Mord's powerful blue energy attack, thinking he started a fight he could never have won. The red-haired man, Fionn, cries out in agony as he crashes through a wall, causing a large explosion of debris. The red-haired man, Fionn, sits dejectedly on the ground amidst rubble, defeated. The white-haired man questions where Mord came from, astonished that he won without even using his impulse, and reflects that even talented Verners couldn't overcome the gap with direct bloodline members. A thought bubble emphasizes that even talented individuals couldn't close the gap between themselves and a direct bloodline. The brown-haired man, Mord, confidently asks if anyone else wishes to fight, while a nearby observer wonders if he's a monster, being so strong at 15. Instructor Todd tells the dark-haired male trainee to take the red-haired man, Fionn, to the medical center, to which the trainee replies, "Yes, instructor." A glowing text box expresses a concern that if nothing is done, the command structure will collapse. Instructor Todd thinks that despite Mord's excellence, he's just an ordinary person without a system, visualizing Mord as a puppet. A glowing text box, likely Instructor Todd's resolve, declares his intent to tame Mord. The red-haired man, Fionn, is seen being struck by Mord's blue energy, with text stating he had to stay in the medical center. The red-haired man, Fionn, is shown unconscious, with text explaining that he was in a coma. Mord was placed on probation for 4 days due to the incident, while an open book displays various combat poses and instructional text. The brown-haired man, Mord, holds a book, finding the tactic theory text remarkably easy. The brown-haired man, Mord, thinks that the written test shouldn't be an issue, given his graduate school education, as a modern university building is shown. The brown-haired man, Mord, stretches in his dorm room, thinking that staying indoors is boring, and deciding to practice mana combat techniques. A voice tells Mord that he has already caused trouble in the third-level training ground. Instructor Todd approaches the brown-haired man, Mord, who expresses surprise. Todd, looking annoyed, says the Archduke wishes to see him, adding that Mord never allows a quiet day. The brown-haired man, Mord, questions why the Archduke wants to see him, but Instructor Todd urges him to go, stating he'll find out upon arrival. Instructor Todd tells the brown-haired man, Mord, that he doesn't need to know aristocratic etiquette, and simply being well-mannered will suffice. The brown-haired man, Mord, agrees to go, thinking that the Archduke Werners disliked aristocratic etiquette even in the novel. As a carriage travels, Instructor Todd's voice comments on the unbelievable rumors about Mord's quick progress through first and second level training, to which Mord replies that he also didn't expect things to be so easy. Instructor Todd tells the brown-haired man, Mord, that he thinks Mord is a clever kid, and others agree, then asks what Mord meant by his previous statement. Instructor Todd questions the brown-haired man, Mord, asking if his actions weren't a plan to gain the Archduke's attention. The brown-haired man, Mord, replies that he wouldn't risk embarrassment for attention, and would simply have become a powerful warrior if he wanted it. Instructor Todd, with crossed arms, agrees that Mord's statement makes sense, and informs him that the Archduke took an interest after receiving reports about yesterday's events. The brown-haired man, Mord, touches his face thoughtfully, considering that destroying a Wernar's family member is indeed something worthy of the Archduke's attention. A carriage approaches a grand gate as Instructor Todd tells the brown-haired man, Mord, that he beat someone strong and warns him not to be too conspicuous as they are almost at the training grounds, to which Mord agrees. The brown-haired man, Mord, and Instructor Todd walk confidently through a large archway under a blue sky. The brown-haired man, Mord, thinks with wide eyes as he observes people training, protected by pink hexagonal shields, while a powerful aura indicates the presence of Archduke Wernars. The brown-haired man, Mord, recognizes the immense, muscular, white-haired man with an overwhelming aura as Archduke Wernars, thinking he looks like a giant. The brown-haired man, Mord, with blue energy, confronts the immense, muscular, white-haired man, Archduke Wernars, and other glowing red or pink figures in a display of power. A massive pink energy explosion erupts, sending figures flying as Archduke Wernars watches intently from below. The muscular white-haired man, Archduke Wernars, surrounded by pink energy, sternly commands, "Enough. Back off." The muscular white-haired man, Archduke Wernars, gathers a swirling red and pink energy orb in his hand, preparing a powerful attack. The muscular white-haired man, Archduke Wernars, unleashes a colossal, swirling red energy vortex that expands outward. The brown-haired man, Mord, with a serious expression, thinks about the skill he just witnessed. The muscular, white-haired man, Archduke Wernars, displays a red, glowing hand as text describes his skill as an overpowered shockwave that absorbs both magical and physical attacks. A powerful red and white energy blast erupts, sending a figure flying upwards amidst the devastating impact. The brown-haired man, Mord, holds his head, identifying the skill as God of Combat's Mirror, and realizing it's still under development at this point in time. The muscular, white-haired man, Archduke Wernars, standing on a broken platform, remarks that the skill's efficiency is not great, while a brown-haired man thinks it's strong despite being incomplete. The muscular, white-haired man, Archduke Wernars, with long hair and a beard, acknowledges the weight as he looks to the side. The brown-haired man, Mord, and the other brown-haired man, Instructor Todd, kneel respectfully, greeting the Archduke. The muscular, white-haired man, Archduke Wernars, facing away, tells the brown-haired man, Mord, and the other brown-haired man to get up, stating he called them to avoid dealing with etiquette. The muscular, white-haired man, Archduke Wernars, tells the brown-haired man, Mord, he heard interesting things about him, intimidating Mord, who thinks the Archduke is not trying to intimidate him but still is, before asking Mord's mother's name, which Mord reveals as Reyna. The muscular, white-haired man, Archduke Wernars, looking at the brown-haired man, Mord, remembers Reyna and notes Mord takes after her, then asks if Mord's new blood awakening was this year, to which Mord replies, yes. The muscular, white-haired man, Archduke Werners, tells the brown-haired man, Mord, he heard Mord won using only body reinforcement against impulse, and now wishes to see his true strength. The muscular, white-haired man, Archduke Werners, calls out, Kessner, and a golden-haired man with a short beard replies, yes, your highness. The golden-haired man, Kessner, expresses surprise, asking, sorry, that kid? As the Archduke instructs him to spar with Mord. The muscular, white-haired man, Archduke Werners, tells the golden-haired man, Kessner, that the brown-haired man, Mord, is his son from outside, and asks Kessner not to go too hard, to which Kessner agrees. The brown-haired man, Mord, thinks the golden-haired man, Kessner, is one of the Archduke's close personnel, as Kessner calls out to Mord to come to the sparring field. The brown-haired man, Mord, questions, really? Then prepares to fight with his fists, stating he never learned to wield a weapon. The golden-haired man, Kessner, with a subtle smirk, asks, is that so? The golden-haired man, Kessner, lunges forward with a punch toward the brown-haired man, Mord. The brown-haired man, Mord, quickly dodges the golden-haired man, Kessner's incoming punch. The brown-haired man, Mord, thinks the golden-haired man, Kessner, is fast, while Kessner compliments Mord for dodging without using mana. The golden-haired man, Kessner, unleashes a barrage of rapid attacks on the brown-haired man, Mord, who notes Kessner is on another dimension from the thugs he fought before. The brown-haired man, Mord, slides on his knee, narrowly evading a strong kick. The golden-haired man, Kessner, engulfed in fiery energy, declares his admiration for Mord's spirit and warns he won't go easy anymore. The brown-haired man, Mord, looks startled, realizing the golden-haired man, Kessner, is drawing up his mana and must be from the Werners bloodline. The brown-haired man, Mord, facing away, considers that he has never truly fought with everything he's got since becoming Mord, as the golden-haired man, Kessner, glows with power in the background. The brown-haired man, Mord, thinks about giving his all against the Archduke's close personnel, then decides he won't hold back as he's engulfed in radiant blue energy. The golden-haired man, Kessner's blazing orange energy clashes intensely with the brown-haired man, Mord's brilliant blue energy. The muscular white-haired man, Archduke Werners, observes the fight, looking impressed and muttering, ooh. The golden-haired man, Kessner, engulfed in fire, looks shocked and questions if this immense mana belongs to a mere trainee. The brown-haired man, Mord, stands enveloped in blue energy, while internal thoughts reveal he probably never properly used his full potential due to guilt associated with his mother. The brown-haired man, Mord, determinedly prepares to fight, enveloped in blue energy, resolved to live up to his potential. The brown-haired man, Mord, and the golden-haired man, Kessner, stand ready, engulfed in their respective blue and orange energies. As Mord states, anyway, let's go. The golden-haired man, Kessner, engulfed in orange energy, grins and confidently agrees, all right. The golden-haired man, Kessner, surges forward with explosive power, enveloped in orange energy, proclaiming he'll teach the brown-haired man, Mord, a lesson. The brown-haired man, Mord, calmly catches the golden-haired man, Kessner's powerful, orange energy-infused punch. The brown-haired man, Mord, surrounded by blue energy, notes that the rumors about him were true, while the golden-haired man, Kessner, engulfed in fire, still believes Mord's efforts are useless. The brown-haired man, Mord, encased in blue energy, delivers a powerful counterpunch that sends the golden-haired man, Kessner, flying, who reacts with shock. The brown-haired man, Mord, kneels amidst glowing blue energy, wondering if the impact was a skill that doubles the attack as debris scatters. The brown-haired man, Mord, glowing blue, tells the golden-haired man, Kessner, he has a lot to learn, while Kessner, engulfed in flames, curses the huge gap between them. The golden-haired man, Kessner, cries out in agony as the brown-haired man, Mord's blue energy, sends him flying. The golden-haired man, Kessner, still radiating fiery energy, warns the brown-haired man, Mord, not to disappoint him, implying the true fight is yet to begin. The golden-haired man, Kessner, stands confidently amidst dust, asking the brown-haired man, Mord, if that's all he has. The brown-haired man, Mord, bleeding from his mouth, says no and considers the significant power gap despite using impulse, contemplating if he needs to use new blood power but deciding against it, as Kessner would then be forced to as well. The golden-haired man, Kessner, observes the brown-haired man, Mord, stumbling to his knee, and remarks that Mord seems to be lost in thought. The brown-haired man, Mord, clutches his mouth in pain, spitting blood. The golden-haired man, Kessner, tells the brown-haired man Mord to fight with his all, threatening to force him to. The golden-haired man, Kessner, charges forward with a punch, asking if the brown-haired man, Mord, is finally going to fight seriously. The brown-haired man, Mord, prepares to counter with a serious expression and a ready fist. The golden-haired man, Kessner, and the brown-haired man, Mord, clash with an explosive impact. A foot lands with a loud crash, sending debris flying. The brown-haired man, Mord, catches the golden-haired man, Kessner's punch, while Kessner thinks he doesn't intend to show everything now, but won't keep taking hits. The golden-haired man, Kessner, and the brown-haired man, Mord, exchange rapid blows, as Kessner warns Mord that his attack movements are too big. The golden-haired man, Kessner, engulfed in power, states the brown-haired man, Mord, is talented but has beginner-level combat, then unleashes a powerful punch. The golden-haired man, Kessner, asks the brown-haired man, Mord, if he didn't tell him blocking was useless. The brown-haired man, Mord, thinks he predicted that move, then counters the golden-haired man, Kessner's attack with a burst of blue energy. The golden-haired man, Kessner, shouts in shock, wondering how the brown-haired man, Mord, managed to use a double attack. The golden-haired man, Kessner, realizes the brown-haired man, Mord, offset his attack and stole his skill, then wonders if Mord blocked on purpose. The golden-haired man, Kessner, eyes wide, thinks the brown-haired man, Mord, made the double attack skill his own so quickly. The brown-haired man, Mord, glows with golden energy, thinking he can copy a skill just by watching it. The golden-haired man, Kessner, engulfed in golden energy, tells the brown-haired man, Mord, he will have to give his all, while Mord thinks Kessner is finally using impulse and wonders if he will show his true powers. The muscular, white-haired man, Archduke Vernars, from behind sternly commands enough, causing the golden-haired man, Kessner, to react with surprise. The muscular, white-haired man, Archduke Vernars, tells the golden-haired man, Kessner, to back off, then praises the brown-haired man, Mord, for his amazing power despite his recent new blood awakening, to which Mord humbly replies. The muscular, white-haired man, Archduke Vernars, charges his hand with crackling energy, stating he has one more thing to check. The brown-haired man, Mord, looks surprised and questions, Impulse Ball? The brown-haired man, Mord, strains with a pained expression, channeling intense red energy as he curses the Archduke's name. The brown-haired man, Mord, continues to struggle, thinking his body can't take this kind of power. The brown-haired man, Mord, clutches his face, thinking he might have no choice but to use his new blood power. The brown-haired man, Mord, looks determined amidst crackling energy, deciding that he can do this. The brown-haired man, Mord, thinks the fight is helpful, and that while his opponent is weaker, blocking impulse with beginner-level body reinforcement is almost impossible. The brown-haired man, Mord, thinks that if he also uses impulse, he can block the attack, glowing with power. The muscular, white-haired man, Archduke Vernars, observes the brown-haired man, Mord, saying, "Oh," while the other brown-haired man, Instructor Todd, is shocked, thinking it's impossible for Mord after his new blood awakening. The brown-haired man, Mord, stands confidently, radiating intense blue energy. The brown-haired man, Mord, displays a glowing hand, thinking his talents are beyond imagination, and that he can copy skills just by observing them. The muscular, white-haired man, Archduke Vernars, looks satisfied, stating it's expected of his blood and that Mord has done much better than expected. The brown-haired man, Mord, thinks angrily about the Archduke, calling him a piece of shit who only values useful blood and vows to punch him someday. The muscular, white-haired man, Archduke Vernars, offers rewards for passing the test, presenting a chest overflowing with gold and hinting at a powerful mentor. The brown-haired man, Mord, acknowledges the great opportunity but thinks he already knows what he needs to ask for. The brown-haired man, Mord, thinks he needs to collect world fragments before Aiden to stop him from destroying the world, as a glowing crystal appears. The muscular, white-haired man, Archduke Vernars, asks the brown-haired man, Mord, what he truly desires after Mord rejects the offered rewards. The brown-haired man, Mord, stands tall and points forward, about to reveal his request. Dungeons exist in MWDW. Text further explains that this world's dungeons are different, being symptoms of the other world's erosion. Text clarifies that dungeons form where this world and another overlap, where abnormal things happen, and most overlap with the demon realm, which is the source of most monsters. The god of combat's grave, where the god of combat Vernars was created, has no connection to another world. The muscular, white-haired man, Archduke Vernars, stares intensely forward with glowing eyes. The muscular, white-haired man, Archduke Vernars, looks at the brown-haired man, Mord, who thinks he might have asked too early. The muscular white-haired man, Archduke Vernars, directly asks the brown-haired man, Mord, why he wants to challenge the god of combat's grave. The brown-haired man, Mord, explains he wants to see the root of his bloodline, while the muscular white-haired man, Archduke Vernars, thinks Mord is more immature than expected. The golden-haired man, Kessner, looks on, thinking that Mord is more immature than he initially believed. The god of combat's grave, the place where the coming-of-age ceremony for direct bloodlines is held. The brown-haired man, Mord's, request is like a direct challenge to the direct bloodline. The brown-haired man, Mord, stands calmly, while a thought bubble, likely Kessner's, states a, quote, bastard son cannot go into such a place. Then Mord calmly says, all right then. The golden-haired man, Kessner, looks surprised and calls out to the Archduke, who replies that he knows what Kessner wants to say, and that it's not unprecedented. The muscular, white-haired man, Archduke Vernars, explains that outside bloodlines have gone into the dungeon for expeditions multiple times, as a silhouetted figure walks into a bright light. It just hasn't happened in Archduke Vernars' generation. The muscular, white-haired man, Archduke Vernars, asks if the golden-haired man, Kessner, wants to go inside too, then thinks Kessner definitely does. The golden-haired man, Kessner, thinks he has lived an inferior existence as a bastard, and desires the privilege of direct bloodlines. The muscular, white-haired man, Archduke Vernars, tells the brown-haired man, Mord, he's unqualified to enter the grave now, but can challenge it once he becomes an official warrior. Pack, the brown-haired man, Mord, clenches his fist, resolving to become a warrior faster than the novel's protagonist, Ailing. The brown-haired man, Mord, smiles confidently, stating he understands. The golden-haired man, Kessner, watches the brown-haired man, Mord, and the other brown-haired man, Instructor Todd, walk away. The brown-haired man, Mord, looks back, pondering if Kessner mentioned his name. The muscular, white-haired man, Archduke Vernars, asks the golden-haired man, Kessner, about Mord, and Kessner confirms he fought him. The golden-haired man, Kessner, notes that Mord seemed to be hiding a lot and wasn't trying his best during their fight. The muscular, white-haired man, Archduke Vernars, observes that Mord seemed to give his all against the impulse ball and learned body impulse on the spot. The golden-haired man, Kessner, acknowledges that some individuals can learn on the spot. The golden-haired man, Kessner, remarks that Mord's mana was incredibly surprising, despite his lack of control over it. The muscular, white-haired man, Archduke Vernars, thinks Mord's mana is comparable to Erna's, and then trails off, deep in thought. The golden-haired man, Kessner, asks what Archduke Vernars was going to say, but Archduke Vernars dismisses it as nothing. The muscular, white-haired man, Archduke Vernars, eyes narrow as he thinks about Mord's eyes. The brown-haired man, Mord, stares forward as Archduke Vernars thinks his eyes were weirdly void of desire. Archduke Vernars' thoughts continue, contrasting Mord's eyes with his other bastard sons, whose eyes were full of desire for validation. The muscular, white-haired man, Archduke Vernars, grins, thinking Mord takes after his mother, Reina, a lot, calling him an interesting kid. Wung Xiang. An aerial view shows a vast, bustling training ground filled with various figures. Wung Xiang. The brown-haired man, Mord, stands amidst the training ground, observing the activity. Tak, the brown-haired man, Mord, is seen engaged in training, observing or performing a move with a burst of light. Wung Xiang Tak. The brown-haired man, Mord, thinks he almost died of boredom for 4 days and can finally learn something useful. The brown-haired man, Mord, considers that 5 Vernars bastard children will challenge the god of combat's grave, leaving 3 spots after Sir Kessner and Viscount Owen. The brown-haired man, Instructor Todd, and another brown-haired man discuss an expedition to analyze the god of combat's grave, noting its pattern changes to lessen the risk for direct bloodlines. The brown-haired man, Mord, thinks that Archduke Vernars decided to give it a try, and Mord needs to hurry and become a warrior too. The brown-haired man, Instructor Todd, confirms everyone except Fionn is present, while the brown-haired man, Mord, wonders if the man is the instructor. The white-haired man, Instructor Daisley, sternly instructs everyone to prepare for training as usual. The white-haired man, Instructor Daisley, approaches the brown-haired man, Mord, asking if he's the new guy, and Mord replies, yes, sir. The white-haired man, Instructor Daisley, informs the brown-haired man, Mord, that he cannot participate in the lesson yet and must ask other students for help afterwards. The brown-haired man, Mord, looks surprised, questioning why Instructor Daisley won't teach him, then asks for a good choice of helper, while Instructor Daisley thinks Mord is thick-skinned and making demands. The brown-haired man, Mord, explains he was already punished and the captain was at fault. The white-haired man, Instructor Daisley, angrily tells the brown-haired man, Mord, to stop talking back, but Mord calmly states he's making a reasonable request as it's the instructor's duty. Peek. The white-haired man, Instructor Daisley, furiously punches the brown-haired man, Mord. Whack! The brown-haired man, Mord, recoils in pain from the impact of the attack. The brown-haired man, Mord's, hand grips his arm as the white-haired man, Instructor Daisley, asserts his authority as the instructor. Whack! The white-haired man, Instructor Daisley, orders the brown-haired man, Mord, to run laps until training is over, expecting constant speed and listening, inwardly vowing punishment if Mord fails. Jack! Oh! The brown-haired man, Mord, endures the attack, his body rippling with power, internally cursing the bastard. The white-haired man, Instructor Daisley, looks surprised, wondering if the brown-haired man, Mord, is extruding mana. Instructor Daisley thinks the brown-haired man, Mord, dares to look down on his authority as an instructor. Piyok. The white-haired man, Instructor Daisley, unleashes another attack, angrily rebuking the brown-haired man, Mord, for baring his teeth and calling him an imbecile of a bastard. Shriek. The brown-haired man, Mord's, feet slam down with force, kicking up dust. The brown-haired man, Mord, thinks that the authority of an instructor is absolute here. The white-haired man, Instructor Daisley, stands over the brown-haired man, Mord, threatening to expel him if he resists and demands an answer. Tuck. The brown-haired man, Mord, clenches his jaw, contemplating punching the instructor but decides against it to avoid interfering with his warrior test, TCH. The brown-haired man, Mord, resolves to hold back, prioritizing his goal of getting into the god of combat's grave. The brown-haired man, Mord, acknowledges the white-haired man, Instructor Daisley's, commands, stating he understands. Hyuk. The white-haired man, Instructor Daisley, tells the brown-haired man, Mord, to go run, and Mord's eyes show his forced compliance. Tak. The brown-haired man, Mord, begins running laps, as the white-haired man, Instructor Daisley, watches him. The white-haired man, Instructor Daisley, thinks about Mord. The white-haired man, Instructor Daisley, vows to make the brown-haired man, Mord, pay for disrespecting him. After that, Instructor Daisley seemed to hold a grudge, using a white energy attack on the brown-haired man, Mord. The white-haired man, Instructor Daisley, kept punishing the brown-haired man, Mord, with a powerful blow that bent him over in pain. Instructor Daisley was crazed with his authority, as he is shown with glowing eyes and purple energy surrounding him, with small figures of men fighting in his hands. Instructor Daisley unleashes a powerful punch at another man, and text explains that if he thinks his authority is challenged, he punishes them verbally and physically without mercy, calling the punishments training. Instructor Daisley stands over a man lying on the ground, and text reveals that no one was able to resist his authority. Instructor Daisley grins sinisterly, as text states this was how he ruled over the place. Instructor Daisley asks the brown-haired man, Mord, who is doing a handstand, if he is disobeying, while Mord internally notes Daisley is justifying abuse. The brown-haired man, Mord, still upside down, thinks he understands why Instructor Daisley insists on abusing him, as he extruded mana in front of the other trainees. The white-haired man, Instructor Daisley, looks annoyed and asks the brown-haired man, Mord, why he is not answering again. The white-haired man, Instructor Daisley, warns the brown-haired man, Mord, to remain in his handstand position until training ends, threatening to punish him if he moves. The brown-haired man, Mord, sweats as he maintains his handstand, internally admitting he held back in case Instructor Daisley had something valuable to teach. The brown-haired man, Mord, internally resolves that it is about time he gets some real training in. The white-haired man, Instructor Daisley, sits on the ground, calling the brown-haired man, Mord, an arrogant bastard, while rubbing his eye. Instructor Daisley fumes, wondering how Mord dares to talk back, and how he endures his punishments, which should have destroyed anyone's body, as if to rebel. A man is shown struggling to carry a large rock. Instructor Daisley questions how a bastard child without real blood or training became such a monster. Instructor Daisley thinks the brown-haired man, Mord, will break soon, vowing to make it happen, as a fist powerfully connects with an unseen target. The white-haired man, Instructor Daisley, looks down at the brown-haired man, Mord, believing that things will go his way. Under the bright sky, a formidable castle stands as someone declares, I will take the test to become a warrior. The brown-haired man, Mord, stands in the training ground amidst other trainees, who murmur about his declaration and acknowledge he may have beaten Fionn. The white-haired man, Instructor Daisley, stares intently at the brown-haired man, Mord, asking if he is in his right mind. The brown-haired man, Mord, smiles confidently, confirming, "Of course." The white-haired man, Instructor Daisley, angrily dismisses the brown-haired man, Mord's, request as ridiculous, stating he hasn't learned everything to become a warrior. The brown-haired man, Mord, and the white-haired man, Instructor Daisley, stare at each other intensely as Mord thinks someone isn't qualified to teach. The white-haired man, Instructor Daisley, furiously asserts that he is the one who judges fitness for the warrior test, yelling that the brown-haired man, Mord, is out of his mind. The white-haired man, Instructor Daisley, thinks he would not allow Mord to take the test, but the brown-haired man, Mord, internally asserts that Daisley does not have the right to deny him, then addresses Instructor Daisley directly. The brown-haired man, Mord, formally requests a god of combat spirit, astonishing the white-haired man, Instructor Daisley. The phrase god of combat's spirit appears above a powerful punch being thrown by a man at another man. They also had a barbaric tradition. The god of combat gifts a real warrior his blessing, so in an engagement of god of combat spirit, the winner is deemed to be in the right. An ethereal warrior figure stands over a defeated man. The brown-haired man, Mord, states that according to Werner's laws, a trainee can request a god of combat spirit from an instructor, and he will use this privilege to prove Instructor Daisley is not qualified to teach him. A silhouetted figure with white hair and glowing red eyes is surrounded by numerous red eyes, as text explains that when Archduke Werner's was younger, he was harassed by power-hungry instructors. A glowing blue figure stands atop a cliff, overseeing a group of people, as text states that Archduke Werner's addressed his descendants with a declaration. The glowing blue figure of Archduke Werner's states that those who dictate over others without the ability to prove their qualifications deserve to die, clarifying that for this reason, the Werner's law permits trainees to request a god of combat spirit from their instructors. The brown-haired man, Mord, thinks the god of combat wasn't entirely sane, but his law is currently beneficial for him. The white-haired man, Instructor Daisley, angrily dismisses the brown-haired man, Mord's request, calling him just a kid. The white-haired man, Instructor Daisley, continues to angrily tell the brown-haired man, Mord, that he is at least 10 years too young to talk about such a sacred ritual. The white-haired man, Instructor Daisley, advances menacingly toward the brown-haired man, Mord. The brown-haired man, Mord, tells the white-haired man, Instructor Daisley, not to be mistaken, as Instructor Daisley looks surprised. The brown-haired man, Mord, stands firm, stating that Instructor Daisley does not have the right to deny a god of combat spirit. The brown-haired man, Mord, stands with the blue glow around him, facing away from the stunned trainees. A blue glow emanates from the brown-haired man, Mord, as text announces, trainee Mord requests a god of combat spirit from level 3 Instructor Daisley, surrounded by crackling blue energy. The other trainees and the white-haired man, Instructor Daisley, look stunned as the announcement of trainee Mord's request for a god of combat spirit echoes repeatedly. The brown-haired man, Mord Rizar, challenges the white-haired man, Instructor Daisley, to either accept or deny his request, threatening to expose the truth if he denies it, as he does not trust the other trainees as witnesses. The white-haired man, Instructor Daisley, looks furious, wondering if the brown-haired man, Mord, thinks he can get away with acting like this. The brown-haired man, Mord, engulfed in a powerful blue aura, asks Instructor Daisley if he still doesn't get it, declaring this is his last chance. The brown-haired man, Mord, smirks, stating he doesn't want to waste any more time on trash like Instructor Daisley. The white-haired man, Instructor Daisley, is repelled by a powerful blue energy, wondering what this energy is. The white-haired man, Instructor Daisley, thinks he cannot back off and questions if the mana the brown-haired man, Mord, showed during his fight with Fion wasn't his full capability. The white-haired man, Instructor Daisley, looks angrily away, thinking that even if the brown-haired man, Mord, is talented, he is just a kid, not an official warrior. The white-haired man, Instructor Daisley, enraged, vows to make the brown-haired man, Mord, regret his actions and declares that the duel will take place in an hour, right there. The white-haired man, Instructor Daisley, asks why the brown-haired man, Mord, is deciding, but Mord asserts the challenger chooses the time and place, adding that he knows Daisley is cunning. Instructor Daisley's eyes narrow in frustration, thinking he doesn't want to waste any more time on Mord. Instructor Daisley watches as the brown-haired man, Mord, walks away, telling him he won't stop him if he wants to run, while trainees murmur. Instructor Daisley, sweating and gritting his teeth, wonders where a psycho like Mord came from. An overhead announcement declares that trainee Mord requests a god of combat spirit from level 3 instructor Daisley. A blonde-haired man with a beard, identified as Kessner, thinks it's unusual for a trainee to challenge an instructor, admitting Mord entertains him in unexpected ways. Kessner calls for his servant, a dark-haired man in a suit, who promptly appears and asks if he was called. Kessner, with a confident smirk, tells his servant to get ready as he is leaving for the level 3 training facility right away. The training ground appears bustling with many small figures, indicating a gathering crowd as murmuring sounds fill the air. A brown-haired trainee notes that the guy who requested the god of combat spirit looks younger than expected. A white-haired man in armor questions how instructor Daisley ended up dueling a kid, adding that it's the first time in 5 years they've seen something so entertaining. The white-haired man in armor, instructor Daisley, addresses the brown-haired man, Mord, remarking that he didn't run off. Instructor Daisley, in armor, curses the arrogant kid and vows to make him regret his arrogance, threatening his life, while Mord smirks and asks if a dog is barking, further infuriating Daisley, who calls him a bastard. A new man with dark hair arrives at the training ground, asking if he is late and stating he thought it wasn't time to begin yet. The blonde-haired man, Kessner, makes a powerful entrance, causing the surrounding trainees to murmur in surprise and ask why Sir Kessner is present. The brown-haired man, Mord, looking towards Instructor Daisley, asks what brings Sir Kessner here. Instructor Daisley is shocked, realizing Mord knows Kessner, and concludes that Mord's arrogance wasn't unfounded because he had Kessner to fall back on. The blonde-haired man, Kessner, explains he came because something interesting was happening, then questions Instructor Daisley about the god of combat spirit duel between a trainee and an instructor, asking what Daisley was thinking. The brown-haired man, Mord, explains he had no choice when an instructor neglected his duties, and simply responded to Instructor Daisley's rotten thoughts, prompting Daisley to angrily call him a bastard. The blonde-haired man, Kessner, chuckles into his hand, thinking the brown-haired man, Mord, is a funny guy. The blonde-haired man, Kessner, asks the brown-haired man, Mord, if he is confident he can win, warning him not to underestimate Sir Daisley, but Mord confidently replies he will win. Instructor Daisley, through gritted teeth, calls Mord arrogant to the end, stating he wants to punch him but must wait for another instructor as a witness. The blonde-haired man, Kessner, offers to take on the role of witness if the instructor is not yet present, surprising Instructor Daisley. Murmurs fill the training ground, with people questioning if they heard correctly that Sir Kessner will be the witness and wondering about the identity of the brown-haired man, Mord. Instructor Daisley questions Sir Kessner's intentions, but Kessner firmly states he will be the witness to this god of combat spirit and asks if Daisley thinks he is not qualified. Instructor Daisley sweats and looks nervous, trying to dismiss Kessner as just a busy guy, as Kessner's eyes flash with intensity. The blonde-haired man, Kessner, asks Instructor Daisley if he is talking down to him, clarifying that even if he taught him, Daisley is not equal to Viscount Windsor. Instructor Daisley looks utterly stunned, then reluctantly apologizes to Viscount Windsor. Instructor Daisley, furious and humiliated, clenches his jaw, thinking about the profound humiliation he is experiencing. The brown-haired man, Mord, stretches and states he is sorry to interrupt, but it is almost time for the duel. The blonde-haired man, Kessner, looks surprised, realizing it is already time. The blonde-haired man, Kessner, tells the brown-haired man, Mord, he looks forward to the fight and hopes he didn't come all this way for nothing. The brown-haired man, Mord, smirks and asks Instructor Daisley if they should begin, to which Daisley angrily agrees, saying it is just as he wished. Instructor Daisley asks the brown-haired man, Mord, if he really overpowered Fiend's body impulse with just body reinforcement. Instructor Daisley states Mord will regret it if that's all he has, as he prepares a sword enveloped in crackling red energy, while Mord remains silent. Instructor Daisley lunges with his red energy-infused sword, challenging the brown-haired man, Mord, to see if he can block sword impulse too. Instructor Daisley looks furious and surprised, exclaiming, "How funny. What?" as he reacts to Mord. The brown-haired man, Mord, surrounded by blue energy, tells Instructor Daisley he is mistaken, asking if he really thought he would give his all against a trainee. The brown-haired man, Mord, stands enveloped in powerful blue body impulse energy, shocking Instructor Daisley, who wonders when Mord learned that. The brown-haired man, Mord, unleashes a sweeping blue energy attack that pushes Instructor Daisley back with great force. Instructor Daisley, struggling against the blue energy, yells that nothing changes even if Mord can use body impulse, as his red energy pushes back. The brown-haired man, Mord's, blue energy violently clashes with Instructor Daisley's red energy, creating a powerful explosion of force. Instructor Daisley's face shows extreme strain and surprise as Mord's blue energy engulfs him during the clash. The brown-haired man, Mord, continues his powerful attack, sending Instructor Daisley sliding back on the dusty ground. Instructor Daisley, knocked to the ground, is shocked, wondering, what is this nonsense? As he realizes Mord pierced through his attack and sent him flying. The brown-haired man, Mord, quickly moves toward the fallen Instructor Daisley, still surrounded by blue energy. The brown-haired man, Mord, delivers a powerful blue energy punch directly into Instructor Daisley, who is enveloped in red energy, creating a forceful impact. Instructor Daisley, still reeling, admits Mord is fit to be a warrior, but insists Mord still cannot beat him, while Mord looks at him with a calm, determined expression. The brown-haired man, Mord, and the white-haired man, Instructor Daisley, engage in another furious exchange of blue and red energy attacks. Instructor Daisley, amidst red energy, shouts that experience is more important than strength and that Mord lacks profound knowledge of mana combat technique. Instructor Daisley asserts the brown-haired man, Mord, is too young to be fighting him. Instructor Daisley brings down his red energy-infused sword, striking the brown-haired man, Mord, and knocking him to the ground. Red energy from Instructor Daisley's attack strikes near the brown-haired man's head, leaving a mark on his cheek. Instructor Daisley attacks with his red energy sword while the brown-haired man defends with blue energy, as Daisley thinks of his vast battlefield experience. Instructor Daisley rages, questioning how the brown-haired man dared request a god of combat spirit against him, asserting he will not be looked down upon by a kid. The brown-haired man lies on the ground, having been forcefully struck down by Instructor Daisley's red energy. The brown-haired man reels back from a powerful blow as Instructor Daisley stands ready with red energy. The brown-haired man acknowledges that he lacks experience and skills compared to his opponent. The blonde-haired man, Kessner, observes the duel, thinking that despite the brown-haired man's talent, his combat skills are still beginner level and experience cannot be ignored. Kessner ponders that if the brown-haired man loses the duel, he will be forced to leave, as Instructor Daisley will ensure his expulsion. Kessner stares intently, wondering what the brown-haired man, Mord, will do next. Instructor Daisley angrily provokes the brown-haired man, asking if he finally has nothing more to say. The brown-haired man calls Instructor Daisley expired trash with decent skills, while Daisley accuses him of astounding arrogance, believing he is only pretending to be strong. The brown-haired man questions Instructor Daisley's qualifications, while Daisley angrily declares he will train him immediately. The brown-haired man's feet glow with blue energy, as he tells Instructor Daisley his wish is impossible, and Daisley questions the mysterious energy. A powerful wave of blue energy erupts from the brown-haired man, pushing back Instructor Daisley with immense force. An announcement declares, "New blood unlock," as the brown-haired man's appearance changes to white hair with glowing silver eyes, surrounded by powerful blue energy. An observer wonders if the white-haired man has already learned that formidable power. The white-haired man unleashes a powerful blue energy wave, forcing the white-haired man in armor back in disbelief, who exclaims, "That's impossible." The white-haired man's feet glow with blue energy as he thinks about fighting without holding back, and says his opponent can resent him if he ends up killing him. The Verna's bloodline can use divine blood powers after undergoing awakening at age 15, changing new blood to divine blood. Text notes that most from the Verna's bloodline use divine blood powers primarily to increase their mana pool, gaining incredible power. Narrative text describes that controlling divine blood entirely would grant immense, unparalleled power, as the white-haired man stands enveloped in blue energy. Observers in the training ground murmur, questioning if the 15-year-old kid is already capable of using divine blood powers. The blonde-haired man Kessner is shocked, realizing that the 15-year-old outsider has already awakened his divine blood powers. Kessner recalls that, despite being considered the most talented child, it took him 4 years to awaken his own divine powers. Kessner is astonished that the white-haired man, Mord, reached such a powerful state after being there for only 8 days. Instructor Daisley looks completely disbelieving, exclaiming that he cannot believe what he is witnessing. The narrator observes the glowing silver eyes, certain that the white-haired man has awakened his divine blood powers. The white-haired man, Mord, unleashes blue energy, stunning his opponent who thinks it's impossible. Then Mord asks if Instructor Daisley wishes to continue if only his pride is at stake. Instructor Daisley scoffs, refusing to lose to a beginner like the white-haired man, even if he can use divine blood powers. The white-haired man, Mord, amidst blue energy, reminds Instructor Daisley that he was the one who declined his previous offer. Instructor Daisley, looking surprised, prepares to counter the white-haired man's blue energy punch, thinking his attack will have no effect. A powerful blue energy blast erupts from the white-haired man, striking Instructor Daisley and sending him reeling backward. Instructor Daisley is slammed forcefully onto the ground, grunting, "Koo!" Instructor Daisley looks utterly shocked, questioning if this immense power is that of divine blood. The white-haired man, Mord, nonchalantly asks if his attack was too strong, stating he was just testing, while Instructor Daisley, off-panel, is shocked to have lost to a 15-year-old. Instructor Daisley, still on one knee, demands the white-haired man stop playing, insisting he would never lose to a mere kid. Instructor Daisley thinks he can no longer use his left shoulder, but vows not to lose everything by being defeated here. Instructor Daisley's face is contorted in rage, his body glowing with red energy, as he vows to prevent such a defeat. Instructor Daisley charges forward with a desperate red energy attack, shouting that defeat cannot happen. Instructor Daisley, enveloped in furious red energy, cries out, "Die, Mord!" The white-haired man, Mord, challenges Instructor Daisley, asking if he will continue to protect his weak pride as Daisley attacks. Instructor Daisley warns the white-haired man, Mord, not to let his guard down, stating that no matter how strong he thinks he is. Instructor Daisley, engulfed in red energy, asserts his superiority in battle techniques as their energies clash powerfully. The blonde-haired man, Kessner, acknowledges that the ability to turn the tables when the white-haired man, Mord, lets his guard down deserves praise. Instructor Daisley is shocked as narration explains that the Vernus family's strongest weapon and defense is their physical bodies. Narration states that a sword impulse is a mere tickle to those with awakened divine blood, and the white-haired man, Mord, declares Instructor Daisley has no right to be an instructor. Instructor Daisley looks utterly enraged and in disbelief, thinking that it's impossible. Instructor Daisley, gripping his red energy sword, thinks his decades-trained sword impulse is useless against the white-haired man, agonizing that there is nothing he can do. Instructor Daisley is thrown backward by the white-haired man's blue energy, exclaiming his disbelief and that it is impossible. The white-haired man, Mord, remains calm, as Instructor Daisley cries out in pain amidst the dissipating red energy. The white-haired man, Mord, confronts Instructor Daisley, asking if he still acted arrogant despite his weakness. Instructor Daisley, enraged, raises his flaming red sword and yells at the white-haired man, asking who he thinks he is to speak to him like that. A hand enveloped in red energy is shown as narration explains the Vernars bloodline's greatest strength and defense lies in their physical bodies, while Instructor Daisley struggles against the white-haired man, Mord. The white-haired man, Mord, deflects Instructor Daisley's red energy attack, asking if he truly thought such an attack would damage him. Instructor Daisley screams in agony as the white-haired man's powerful blue energy overwhelms him. Instructor Daisley's face contorts in pain and shock as purple energy engulfs him, with a desperate plea to stop. Instructor Daisley's body collapses, his sword dropping to the ground as he is completely enveloped in blue energy. The white-haired man, Mord, stands amidst blue energy, instructing his opponent to accept defeat for their life to be spared. The white-haired man, Mord, delivers a powerful final blow with blue energy, completely knocking Instructor Daisley down. The white-haired man's eyes glow as he thinks about delivering a lethal blow this time. Instructor Daisley looks utterly defeated and surprised, unable to comprehend what has happened. Instructor Daisley kneels before a colossal, dark figure with glowing red eyes, representing the overwhelming presence of the god of combat spirit. Instructor Daisley remains on his knees, head bowed in defeat, seemingly unable to speak. The white-haired man, Mord, stands tall and triumphant over the kneeling Instructor Daisley, observed by others in the training ground. The crowd cheers wildly, celebrating that the child of Vernars has defeated Daisley. An astonished voice from the crowd exclaims disbelief at the outcome. The blonde-haired man Kessner thinks about Mord, the bastard of Vernars, who awakened his divine blood just 8 days after joining the family. The blonde-haired man Kessner continues to muse that Mord even managed to kill instructors with the god of combat spirit and wonders how much stronger he will become. The blonde-haired man, Kessner, walks away, acknowledging that it was a great battle. Cheers erupt from the Vernars family manor, with voices excitedly calling out Mord's name. A hooded figure comments on how amazing that kid is. The hooded figure continues, mentioning they heard about a bold kid who requested his instructor for the god of combat spirit. The hooded figure is revealed to be Erna Vernars, the 7th traditional bloodline of Vernars, who states she never expected to see such a monster. Erna Vernars concludes that something interesting might happen. The scene shifts to an imposing structure identified as the castle of Archduke Vernars. The older blonde-haired man, the Archduke, asks the brown-haired man, Mord, if he has become an official warrior, having heard he easily passed the god of combat spirit. The brown-haired man, Mord, confirms his status, stating he is there to collect his promised reward. The Archduke comments on Mord's boldness for requesting the god of combat spirit right after becoming a warrior, to which Mord explains he couldn't stand by while his instructor neglected his duties. The Archduke's thoughts reveal that the Vernars mentality values the strong who are proven right. The Archduke tells the brown-haired man, Mord, that he finds no issues with his actions. The Archduke, surrounded by glowing purple energy, sternly questions Mord about why he hid his strength in the past. The brown-haired man, Mord, calmly replies that he was merely being careful with mana utilization, as it was his first time using it. The Archduke states he can tell it's a lie, but agrees to proceed. The Archduke states he is sure Mord came to challenge the god of combat's grave, and asks if his wish remains unchanged, which Mord confirms. A brown-haired man in blue uniform expresses concern to the Archduke, fearing complaints if Mord is allowed to challenge the grave before officially announced warriors. The Archduke, enraged and surrounded by purple energy, asserts his authority, demanding to know who dares tell him to rethink his decision. The brown-haired man immediately apologizes to the Archduke, admitting he overstepped his bounds. The Archduke grants Mord permission to challenge the god of combat's grave, despite not knowing his motivations, and Mord thanks him. The brown-haired man, Mord, smirks, thinking he finally has the chance to collect his first world fragment. The brown-haired man, Mord, and the blonde-haired man stand before a large, glowing purple door, the entrance to the god of combat's grave. The blonde-haired man explains that only one person can enter at a time, and no one else may enter until the current challenger dies, regardless of danger. The brown-haired man, Mord, looks surprised, noting that the grave is much bigger than he imagined, despite knowing it was in the Archduke's basement. The blonde-haired man, Kessner, expresses surprise that Mord gets to challenge it first, while Mord privately acknowledges getting this chance quickly. The blonde-haired man, Kessner, tells Mord not to look so surprised, as it's a result of his efforts, urging him only to come back alive. The brown-haired man, Mord, thanks Sir Kessner as he walks forward. The brown-haired man, Mord, feels an odd sensation just standing before the glowing purple entrance to the grave. Narrative text explains the Vernars duchy's founding myth. The god of combat Vernars never died, but fulfilled his destiny and left their world to become a god in the heavens. The brown-haired man, Mord, touches a glowing symbol, as narration clarifies that the god of combat's grave actually refers to the human side of the god of combat Vernars, where his remnants lie, and Mord stands ready at the illuminated entrance. The brown-haired man, Mord, walks forward amidst blue energy, as a thought bubble reveals this is 7 years from now, and he finds a world fragment in the god of combat's grave. The brown-haired man walks away, bathed in bright light and surrounded by sparkling particles. A thought bubble explains the world fragment should still exist here at this point, as the brown-haired man walks into a bright, open area. The brown-haired man's foot lands on the ground with a soft tap, and he surveys a desolate outdoor area with distant buildings. The brown-haired man's blue eyes widen in surprise, realizing this location is completely different from the grave described in his memories from MWDW. A luminous tree-like symbol glows, and a thought bubble explains that in MWDW, it was one of 6, and he needs to find the seal. Fiery, chaotic energy surrounds a large, dark, fire-breathing canine monster, as the brown-haired man Mord thinks, hellhounds! The brown-haired man Mord thinks there are 2 hellhounds as a second large, dark, fire-breathing canine monster appears beside the first. One of the hellhounds growls, its red eyes glowing menacingly as fiery breath escapes its fanged mouth. The brown-haired man, Mord, laments that he hoped he wouldn't face too many monsters, as 2 hellhounds with fiery paws stand ready. The brown-haired man, Mord, looks on as an explosion of light and fiery energy erupts, launched by an attacking hellhound. The brown-haired man Mord unleashes blue energy, striking one of the hellhounds and sending it flying backward. A powerful blue energy blast sends both hellhounds reeling as the brown-haired man Mord stands firm. The brown-haired man Mord walks away, rubbing his neck and commenting that the effort tires him out for no reason, leaving defeated hellhound shadows behind. The brown-haired man Mord looks up with a determined expression, realizing he has found a seal. The brown-haired man Mord looks at a colossal stone statue depicting the god of combat defeating foes, wondering why it's used as a seal. The brown-haired man Mord thinks the god of combat must be full of self-love, and the statue's high placement would have made it hard to find. The brown-haired man Mord, radiating blue energy, asks, "Now then, why don't we start?" as he prepares for combat. The brown-haired man Mord crouches on the stone ground in a ready combat stance. The brown-haired man Mord looks at a glowing white statue, realizing it represents the god of combat at age 10, and understands why Vernar's descendants are so muscular. The brown-haired man Mord's hands crackle with intense blue electricity as he prepares to fight. The brown-haired man Mord, with blue lightning crackling around him, stands before a large, muscular statue, contemplating his current state. Blue energy surges from the top of the white statue's head, crackling intensely. The brown-haired man Mord thinks it would have been hard to find this clue if he hadn't known what he was supposed to do. The brown-haired man Mord and a glowing white figure representing the statue engage in combat, as Mord thinks no one would think of awakening their divine blood by punching the statue. The brown-haired man Mord smirks, grateful that he was the first to claim this power. The brown-haired man Mord walks away from the glowing white statue, thinking he should hurry to the next seal. The large white statue cracks, with visible lines spreading across its surface. A giant green snake with glowing red eyes and a flicking red tongue appears, its scales detailed and menacing. Two menacing hellhounds with fiery breaths and red eyes stand over a skeletal figure, ready to attack. A close-up of a hellhound's fiery maw shows its glowing red eye and sharp teeth exuding menace. The brown-haired man Mord stands firm as chaotic energy swirls around him, while a monster skull is flung away. The brown-haired man Mord wonders if he has moved far enough for another seal, as particles scatter around him. The brown-haired man Mord stands ready, thinking that since it's a small alleyway, there's no way to avoid the upcoming challenge. A monster roars, its green skin and red eyes hinting at a fierce upcoming encounter. The brown-haired man Mord prepares for battle against a giant green monster's head, thinking the trail for the god of combat would naturally be straightforward. The brown-haired man Mord unleashes a powerful blue energy blast, thinking that if there's an enemy, he should just kill them, because the god of combat would never accept someone who avoids a trial. A monstrous bird-like creature perches atop a wall, as the brown-haired man Mord thinks this creature is guarding the top for anyone who tries to climb over. The brown-haired man Mord thinks he doesn't have to face the bird-like creatures if he stays on the ground. 5 large, muscular white statues, each with a different facial expression, are displayed vertically, symbolizing the 5 seals Mord has discovered. A glowing, crystalline world fragment floats amidst cosmic dust and light, as a thought bubble proclaims it's not far until he finally gains it. The brown-haired man Mord walks forward with a determined expression in a dimly lit, blood-stained area. A thought bubble explains that the further he goes in, the more mana he senses. The brown-haired man Mord walks in an outdoor area, his hand reaching out, thinking he doesn't have much mana left thanks to awakening his divine blood 5 times. The brown-haired man Mord looks to the side with an unreadable expression. The brown-haired man Mord stands before a colossal dragon statue, thinking he has finally arrived at the 6th seal. The brown-haired man Mord thinks the dragon statue is pretty big, and even just climbing it would be a hassle. The brown-haired man Mord looks to the side with a focused expression as blue energy symbols appear around him. The brown-haired man Mord faces a colossal, gray-skinned ogre with glowing red eyes and fur-lined clothes, surprised by its sudden appearance. The brown-haired man Mord looks surprised, thinking an ogre has appeared. The brown-haired man Mord observes the colossal gray-skinned ogre, thinking it's a monster that has mastered mana for physical reinforcement and will be trouble. The gray-skinned ogre unleashes a powerful strike, creating a large impact on the ground. The brown-haired man Mord realizes this is no ordinary ogre, noting a normal one is about 4 meters in size. The brown-haired man, Mord, stands before the giant gray-skinned ogre, recognizing it's roughly taller than 5 meters. The colossal, gray-skinned ogre with glowing red eyes raises its arm, preparing to attack. The massive gray-skinned ogre stomps its foot, causing the ground to crack and debris to fly. The brown-haired man, Mord, is blasted backward by a blue energy surge, thinking he knew it was too easy until now. The brown-haired man, Mord, lands a forceful blue energy punch, thinking this should be pretty interesting to fight. The brown-haired man, Mord, delivers a flurry of blue energy-infused punches against the gray-skinned ogre. The gray-skinned ogre's large foot impacts the ground, kicking up dust and rubble. The giant gray-skinned ogre slams its fist down, causing the brown-haired man, Mord, to cry out in pain. The gray-skinned ogre delivers another powerful, ground-shattering blow with immense force. The brown-haired man, Mord, is visibly hurt and recoils from a forceful impact. The brown-haired man, Mord, thinks he won't be able to defeat the charging ogre with just impulses. The gray-skinned ogre prepares another powerful punch, while the brown-haired man, Mord, resolves to accept the challenge. The gray-skinned ogre's powerful punch causes a significant explosion of force and debris. The gray-skinned ogre clenches its fanged teeth, its red eyes narrowed fiercely. The brown-haired man, Mord, is hit by the ogre's powerful attack, reflecting that he's still a beginner despite good genetics. The brown-haired man, now with white hair and enveloped in blue energy, thinks he almost died. The gray-skinned ogre opens its mouth wide, roaring menacingly, its red eyes glowing. The white-haired man, Mord, surrounded by blue energy, charges and leaps towards the gray-skinned ogre. The white-haired man, Mord, tells someone to shut up amidst a swirling blue backdrop. The white-haired man, Mord, powers up, his fist crackling with intense blue lightning. The white-haired man, Mord, unleashes a concentrated burst of blue energy. The white-haired man, Mord, surrounded by blue energy, notes he was forced to awaken his divine blood. The white-haired man, Mord, admits he was too conceited, thinking he could defeat the ogre without divine blood powers. A thought bubble explains this dungeon is for 15-year-olds of traditional bloodlines, suggesting the difference battle knowledge and education make. The white-haired man, Mord, surrounded by light, plans to start over from the beginning once he exits. The large dragon statue cracks and shatters from a powerful blue energy impact. The white-haired man, Mord, stands before the large white statue of the god of combat, finding its height somewhat odd. The white-haired man, Mord, ponders why the god of combat's statue is smaller than Archduke Vernar's, wondering if he grew taller later. The white-haired man, Mord, dismisses this statue's height as unimportant as a glowing symbol appears above it. A radiant world fragment floats in a cosmic expanse, signifying its imminent acquisition. The brown-haired man, Mord, stands on the dragon statue, wondering if he did something wrong, as the glowing white god of combat statue appears beside him. The brown-haired man, Mord, internally questions why he hasn't obtained the world fragment yet, recalling his previous understanding of activating the statue with his blood. The brown-haired man, Mord, realizes he must return to the other seals, having possibly forgotten to do something at them. The white-haired god of combat, in human form, expresses surprise, expecting Mord as his descendant to be hot-tempered. The brown-haired man, Mord, expresses shock, questioning how the white-haired god of combat statue is alive. The muscular, white-haired god of combat, now in human form, says he'd be sad if Mord just left, while Mord realizes the statue is alive. A text panel reveals Mord entered the god of combat's grave, remembering Aiden had obtained a world fragment there. A text panel further explains Mord would not know these events if they weren't written in MDWD, showing Aiden holding a glowing world fragment. The muscular, white-haired god of combat laughs, expressing joy at finally speaking to his descendant and asking if Mord truly thought he'd leave like that, as Mord mentally notes the statue is moving. The brown-haired man, Mord, with a serious expression, wonders if this unexpected development is a hidden trial. The brown-haired man, Mord, asks the white-haired god of combat who he is, to which the god of combat laughs, praising his energy and asking his age. The white-haired man, Mord, surrounded by crackling blue energy, asserts himself, demanding to know the god of combat's identity first. The white-haired god of combat smiles, acknowledging Mord's impressive display. The white-haired man, Mord, launches a powerful blue energy blast directly at the white-haired god of combat. The white-haired god of combat, with glowing eyes, warns Mord that he is rushing too much, despite being a descendant. The white-haired god of combat deftly dodges the white-haired man, Mord's blue energy attack. The white-haired man, Mord, groans in pain, resolving to give the god of combat a proper greeting as he powers up. The white-haired man, Mord, powers up intensely, enveloped in crackling blue energy. A powerful blue energy explosion fills the frame, radiating force. The white-haired man, Mord, lands with a thud, kicking up white dust as he moves swiftly. The white-haired man, Mord, kneels in pain, enveloped in blue energy, wondering if he is seeing an illusion as the god of combat was a stone statue moments ago. The muscular, white-haired god of combat smiles, asking his descendant if he truly doesn't know him, while Mord thinks this figure is like a real human. The white-haired man, Mord, states he knows the other is a stone statue of the god of combat, Verners, to which the muscular, white-haired god of combat confirms he is indeed a stone statue. The muscular, white-haired god of combat reveals he is his shadow as a human, what the god of combat Verners left behind, surprising the white-haired man, Mord. A thought bubble explains that within MDWD, the god of combat's grave was known to contain the remnants of his human self. A text bubble clarifies this grave is suited for the god of combat's human form, not his godly form. 5 muscular white statues, representing the god of combat's achievements, are displayed as a thought bubble states that in MDWD, the complete achievements of his life were recorded. The white-haired man, Mord, asks if the remnants are stone statues imbued with will, and the muscular, white-haired god of combat asks if that's hard to believe. The muscular, white-haired god of combat declares he will show Mord, unleashing a powerful white energy blast. The white-haired man, Mord, looks surprised as the muscular, white-haired god of combat grins, explaining that this reality really hurts. A close-up shows the white-haired man, Mord's, hand shaking from the force of the impact. The muscular, white-haired god of combat delivers a powerful punch, sending the white-haired man, Mord, flying backward with a resounding thump. The muscular, white-haired god of combat laughs, mocking Mord by saying he thought he was much weaker. The white-haired man, Mord, demands the god of combat stop playing with him, while the muscular, white-haired god of combat smiles, noting Mord still has energy, which is perfect for his descendant. The muscular, white-haired god of combat lunges at the white-haired man, Mord, with a powerful blue energy-infused strike, causing a thump. The muscular, white-haired god of combat watches Mord with a thoughtful OHOH expression. The white-haired man, Mord, unleashes a powerful blue lightning blast, shouting for the god of combat to die. The white-haired man, Mord's blue energy attack, blasts towards the muscular, white-haired god of combat, who remarks he never expected to use a trick like that. Intense blue light surges outward, indicating a powerful burst of energy. The white-haired man, Mord, stares with piercing, glowing white eyes, his hair flowing with power. The white-haired man, Mord, launches a powerful blue flame attack, catching the muscular, white-haired god of combat by surprise, who wonders if even the ball of impulse was a fake. A thought bubble conveys intense shock and confusion. The muscular, white-haired god of combat leaps powerfully, stating that only a weak and frail fool would need such a trick, as the white-haired man, Mord, is flung through the air. The white-haired man, Mord, cries out in pain as both he and the muscular, white-haired god of combat are propelled through the air during their intense battle. The muscular, white-haired god of combat creates a powerful blue energy blast, laughing that he loves beating people with his bare hands, his eyes glowing fiercely. The white-haired man, Mord, thinks he cannot defeat him even with the power of his divine blood. The white-haired man, Mord, is hit by a powerful, unseen force, making a loud thud as he wonders if this is all a dream. The white-haired man, Mord's face is obscured by a blinding white impact, showing him overwhelmed. The muscular, white-haired god of combat delivers a rapid series of punches, creating shockwaves, and tells Mord he has a long way to go, while Mord thinks a stone statue being this powerful is insane. The muscular, white-haired god of combat smiles knowingly, while the white-haired man, Mord, lies on the ground, groaning in pain and muttering. The muscular, white-haired god of combat delivers a devastating kick, causing a large explosion of dust and debris with a loud thump. The white-haired man, Mord, is slumped against a cracked wall as the muscular, white-haired god of combat stands over him, asking if that's all he has and expressing disappointment. The muscular, white-haired god of combat states that if this were a real battle, Mord would be dead, while Mord, from a distance, mutters for him to shut up. The brown-haired man, Mord, struggles, his legs shaking, as his awakened divine blood state has seemingly been released, much to his surprise. The muscular, white-haired god of combat questions if that's all it took to defeat Mord's divine blood state, and asks if all his descendants are as weak as him. The muscular white-haired god of combat asks if Mord believes who he is now, prompting the brown-haired man, Mord, to question if he is truly the god of combat Vernars or his shadow. The muscular, white-haired god of combat smiles, allowing Mord to address him as Vernars for now. The muscular, white-haired god of combat states he has seen many attempt this dungeon, but Mord is the first to awaken him, and asks how long it has been since he was awakened. The muscular, white-haired god of combat reveals it has been 500 years, astonishing the brown-haired man, Mord, who repeatedly questions if it's true. The muscular, white-haired god of combat ponders how it has been 500 years, finding it not a difficult riddle to solve, as a thought bubble mentions MDWD. The brown-haired man, Mord, explains that nobody likely awakened him due to a post-ascension conflict where his sons fought for succession, with the loser taking artifacts, one of which held the secrets to this place. A text bubble explains that in the far future, someone discovers these artifacts in the god of combat's ruins, becoming Aiden's aid and helping him acquire a world fragment. The muscular, white-haired god of combat sighs, lamenting that things fell apart so quickly after he left, and notes his descendants truly have his temper. The muscular, white-haired god of combat, with a thoughtful expression, admits he shouldn't have shown Mord this side of himself. The muscular, white-haired god of combat asks the brown-haired man, Mord, if he understands the significance of awakening him. The brown-haired man, Mord, states directly that he is not aware. The muscular, white-haired god of combat repeats his question to the brown-haired man, Mord, if he understands what it means to awaken him, and Mord replies that he does not. The muscular, white-haired man, Vernars, reveals he spilled his blood to obtain the world fragment, surprising the brown-haired man, Mord, who questions the sudden development. The brown-haired man, Mord, questions the situation, remembering that Aiden and MDWD obtained the world fragment without the god of combat appearing. The muscular, white-haired man, Vernars, explains that the fragment can be obtained when Mord awakens him, leading Mord to wonder if the god of combat only awakens to blood from his own bloodline. The muscular, white-haired man, Vernars, announces his intention to teach the brown-haired man, Mord, about divine blood embodiment, making Mord ponder if he will learn to perfectly utilize his power. The brown-haired man, Mord, questions why Vernars wouldn't simply impart his teachings to future generations, to which Vernars expresses doubt that all descendants would achieve the necessary stage to teach others. Narration explains that divine blood talent is proportional to blood concentration, which thins out over generations as human blood mixes, making it difficult for later generations to properly use the power. Narration continues, stating that despite the thinning blood, learning can develop the power, which is why the god of combat's grave was created to provide a teacher. The large dragon statue is revealed as a training ground and method of teaching for descendants. The muscular white-haired man, Vernars, explains that proper embodiment of divine blood allows perfect utilization of its power, as Mord realizes that 500 years have passed, and the bloodline has thinned, hinting at Archduke Vernars X-one's villainy due to this limitation. The brown-haired man, Mord, despite his current struggles, sees this as an opportunity, realizing his divine blood release is temporary and requires significant training for full embodiment. A thump sounds. The brown-haired man, Mord, accepts the training and asks how he will be taught, to which the muscular white-haired man, Vernars, cryptically replies, "Isn't it obvious?" The muscular white-haired man, Vernars, winks and grins, declaring the training method is simply to fight, over and over and over again. A thump sounds. The brown-haired man, Mord, looks distraught as the voice confirms he will learn by, quote, getting beat up over and over again, making him question if they will just fight without instruction. The muscular white-haired man, Vernars, criticizes Mord's weakness and questions if modern people need everything spoon-fed, while Mord protests that he'll die and his ribs were already broken. A thump sounds. The muscular white-haired man, Vernars, asks the brown-haired man, Mord, if his pain is gone, astonishing Mord as he realizes the pain has indeed vanished. The muscular white-haired man, Vernars, announces two pieces of good news for Mord, revealing that in this area, injuries and mana regenerate instantly, and he's about to reveal the second. A crack sounds. The brown-haired man, Mord, mentally acknowledges he's no match for Vernars as a powerful explosion erupts from the ground. A flash and smash sound. The ground shakes as the brown-haired man, Mord, protests from the floor, while the muscular white-haired man, Vernars, observes that the kid's showing off. A thud sounds. The brown-haired man, Mord, from his vantage point, asserts he's an adult and questions the fairness of having work pushed onto him. The brown-haired man Mord grins, casually pushing his hair back, and asks a rhetorical, "Is it?" A tap sounds. The brown-haired man, Mord, realizes he's facing the 10-year-old god of combat, noting that his lack of silver hair signifies a stage before full divine blood use, while the older Vernars reflects on his own hair color when he could use divine blood. The muscular white-haired man Vernars tells the brown-haired man, Mord, that he will be fighting a suitable opponent, prompting Mord to confidently declare the 10-year-old won't withstand a single punch. The 10-year-old figure taunts the brown-haired man, Mord, asking if he's too embarrassed to run away from a beating by a child, making Mord wonder if this is the powerful god of combat at 10 years old. A thump sounds. The brown-haired man Mord is quickly defeated as the muscular white-haired man Vernars tells the 10-year-old to unleash his divine blood, while the 10-year-old mocks Mord for talking too much and tells him to prepare to fight. A smash sounds. The white-haired 10-year-old, emanating blue energy, confidently asserts his superior physique. A spark sounds. The brown-haired man, Mord, hesitantly begins to speak, but the grinning white-haired 10-year-old brutally interrupts, shouting, "Fang Dai!" A smack sounds. The white-haired 10-year-old, glowing with blue energy, demonstrates his power, proving his words aren't lies, as the brown-haired man, Mord, is sent flying, defeated. A crackle sounds. A title card labels Mord's previous attempt as a bluff, as he lies in a crater, contemplating how he couldn't even last 10 seconds against the 10-year-old, despite unleashing his divine blood. The muscular white-haired man, Vernars, comments on Mord's lack of fighting experience, thinking they need to teach him, while Mord feels utterly embarrassed by his defeat. The muscular white-haired man, Vernars, questions why his descendant can't fight, revealing he explained the processes of getting there and the Archduke's bloodline management, while internally lamenting the family's current state. The muscular white-haired man, Vernars, offers to guide the brown-haired man, Mord, on how to fight the 10-year-old, motioning for him to follow, which surprises Mord. A spark sounds. The brown-haired man, Mord, beams with a mix of surprise and excitement, realizing he's about to receive a private, one-on-one lesson from the world's strongest. As their hands meet, the muscular white-haired man, Vernars, asks if the brown-haired man, Mord, is aware he's repeatedly falling for the same attack pattern, inspiring Mord to think he can learn here what the Academy couldn't teach him. A tap sounds. Standing before the dragon statue, the brown-haired man, Mord, expresses his desire to break the pattern, while the 10-year-old taunts him, and the muscular white-haired man, Vernars, proposes using arrogance as a strategy. A dynamic panel captures a powerful blue energy impact, as narration points out that Mord's attacks are too direct and lack tempo control. A thump sounds. The 10-year-old relentlessly strikes the brown-haired man, Mord, with powerful blue energy punches in a rapid sequence. A thump and smack sound. The brown-haired man, Mord, projects white energy, understanding that the 10-year-old's overconfidence will provide an opportunity he must seize. In round 74, the muscular white-haired man, Vernars, instructs the brown-haired man, Mord, to move his body while punching, demonstrating how this will change the trajectory of his attacks. A thump sounds. The brown-haired man, Mord, looks thoughtful, pondering the instruction. A humph sounds. The brown-haired man, Mord, skillfully dodges a blue energy punch from the 10-year-old, as the narrator observes that the opponent is not an easy one and will likely dodge. A whoosh sounds. The 10-year-old unleashes a fierce blue energy attack, forcing the brown-haired man, Mord, to react intensely. A smash sounds. The brown-haired man, Mord, focuses intently, before grimacing in pain from a powerful impact, his body surrounded by red spatters. A thump and smash sound. The 10-year-old figure leans over the defeated brown-haired man, Mord, with a mocking smile, assuring him he won't die, despite his fear. The 10-year-old's fist hovers near the brown-haired man, Mord's, face as he taunts him for being silent and frustrated that his attack failed. In round 272, the brown-haired man, Mord, asks the god of combat for advice, as changing trajectories isn't working, while the muscular white-haired man, Vernars, laughs, noting that an opening isn't given but made. A clack sounds. The brown-haired man, Mord, declares he can now see the 10-year-old's movements and how he will counter, as the 10-year-old unleashes a blue energy punch. A smack sounds. The brown-haired man, Mord, deftly dodges a powerful blue energy attack, then struggles as he's impacted by another force, before regaining his composure with a determined look. A humph and thump sound. A dynamic panel captures a massive blue energy explosion emanating from a powerful impact, likely by the brown-haired man Mord. A crash sounds. The muscular white-haired man Vernars smiles, observing the 10-year-old's impressive training, acknowledging his ability to apply what he's learned, while the grinning 10-year-old proudly announces he finally landed a punch. A boing sounds. The muscular brown-haired man with white hair, surrounded by blue energy, prepares a powerful punch. The muscular brown-haired man with white hair attacks with blue energy as the muscular white-haired man Vernars observes that he seems to be getting used to this. Muscular dark-haired man, crackling with blue energy, states he doesn't need to go easy on his opponent. A masked, muscular dark-haired man stands against a red background, with blood-like droplets on his chest. The muscular brown-haired man, Mord, looks up with a pained expression, blood dripping from his nose. The muscular white-haired man, Vernars, observes that the brown-haired man is getting used to the situation. A crack sounds as the muscular white-haired man, Vernars, says, "Now then." The muscular dark-haired man, the younger Vernars, crackles with blue energy, stating he doesn't need to go easy. The muscular brown-haired man, Mord, is engulfed in bright blue energy as the muscular dark-haired man, the younger Vernars, unleashes a fierce attack. The muscular brown-haired man, Mord, is pushed back by the powerful blue energy, thinking he is being shredded if this continues. The muscular brown-haired man, Mord, grimaces, anticipating his body will be shredded to pieces from the relentless attack. Muscular brown-haired man, Mord, wonders why the muscular white-haired god of combat is not stopping the attack. The muscular dark-haired man, the younger Werner, smiles confidently, asking if Mord has time to look away, then strikes the brown-haired man, Mord, who groans in pain. The brown-haired man, Mord, is blasted backwards by a powerful blue energy attack, blood splattering from his face. The muscular dark-haired man, the younger Werners, grins menacingly, with blood splattered on his face, indicating his brutal victory. The muscular dark-haired man, the younger Vernars, delivers a powerful overhead punch to the brown-haired man, Mord, who is on the ground. The brown-haired man, Mord, lies defeated on the ground, looking up in exhaustion. The brown-haired man, Mord, is brutally beaten by a flurry of attacks, blood spraying, before collapsing to the ground with a thump. The brown-haired man, Mord, is sent flying through the air by a powerful explosion, while the muscular dark-haired man, the younger Vernars, stands his ground. The muscular dark-haired man, the younger Vernars, watches as the brown-haired man, Mord, crashes back to the earth in a shower of debris. The brown-haired man, Mord, lies defeated, unable to move a finger or use his divine blood. The brown-haired man, Mord, looks up at a massive, imposing rock structure that resembles a dragon. The brown-haired man, Mord, looks up with wide eyes at the colossal dragon statue looming above him. The muscular dark-haired man, the younger Vernars, casually wonders aloud if the weakling is still alive after the impact. The muscular dark-haired man, the younger Vernars, concedes that the brown-haired man, Mord, has guts. The muscular dark-haired man, the younger Vernars, grins, mocking the brown-haired man, Mord, by saying he only has guts, as Mord lies defeated amidst the rubble. The brown-haired man, Mord, struggles to move, lamenting that he can't move his legs, as the muscular dark-haired man, the younger Vernars, mockingly offers to help him. A tap sounds as the muscular dark-haired man, the younger Vernars, strikes the brown-haired man, Mord, promising it won't hurt, while Mord realizes his mana is drained and he needs 8 seconds to recover. The brown-haired man, Mord, corrects his internal countdown for mana recovery from 7 to 6 seconds. The brown-haired man, Mord, continues to count down his mana recovery, thinking 4 seconds, as the muscular dark-haired man, the younger Vernars, casually asks a question. The brown-haired man, Mord, sheds a tear from the pain as the muscular dark-haired man, the younger Vernars, continues to assault him, asking about the Vernars bloodline. The muscular dark-haired man, the younger Vernars, holds a small rock, looking intently at the brown-haired man, Mord, as he asks if their eyes are soft like other people's. The brown-haired man, Mord, groans in agonizing pain from the relentless blows from the muscular dark-haired man, the younger Vernars. The brown-haired man, Mord, is hit with immense force, bleeding, as the muscular dark-haired man, the younger Vernars, threatens to kill him, and Mord internally notes his recovery is down to 2 seconds. A crackle sounds as the muscular dark-haired man, the younger Vernars, glowing with blue energy, prepares to launch himself towards his opponent. A tap sounds as the muscular dark-haired man, the younger Vernars, sends his opponent flying with a powerful strike, preparing to unleash another barrage. The muscular white-haired man, Vernars, appears amidst blue energy and asks the muscular dark-haired man, the younger Vernars, if he still intends to kill Mord now that his own divine blood has awakened. The muscular white-haired man, Vernars, tells the muscular dark-haired man, the younger Vernars, that he is now on the receiving end of the situation. The muscular white-haired man, Vernars, unleashes a powerful blue energy strike, proudly noting that he managed to land a hit on the muscular dark-haired man, the younger Vernars. The muscular dark-haired man, the younger Vernars, looks wide-eyed and shocked, questioning the weakness of the punch he just received. The muscular white-haired man, Vernars, punches the muscular dark-haired man, the younger Vernars, questioning if he thought such a punch could crack his skull, and promises to show him real power. The brown-haired man, Mord, watches the scene, wondering if this training was too much for him to handle. A thump sounds as the brown-haired man, Mord, is sent tumbling by a powerful energy impact. A crack sounds as the brown-haired man, Mord, clutches his head in surprise, realizing he was sent flying, as the muscular white-haired man, Vernars, approaches. A crack sounds as the muscular brown-haired man, Mord, is struck by a powerful blue energy blast from the muscular white-haired man, Vernars. The muscular white-haired man, Vernars, tells the brown-haired man, Mord, to get away, reminding him that their role is to teach their descendants. A crack sounds as the muscular white-haired man, Vernars, surrounded by glowing energy, declares to the brown-haired man, Mord, that the training is over. The muscular white-haired man, the younger Vernars, who is the training opponent, yells at the older Vernars, asking if he would say the same if he were in his position. The muscular white-haired man, Vernars, looks sternly at the muscular white-haired man, the younger Vernars, whose eyes narrow before the younger Vernars concedes, saying, I know. From a first-person perspective, the muscular dark-haired man, the younger Vernars, is told good work by an unseen figure, while he angrily retorts not to be treated like a kid, thinking the figure must be scared of the older god of combat, as the muscular white-haired man, Vernars, sits in the background. The brown-haired man, Mord, sits on the ground, surrounded by blue energy, thinking he is at least still alive. The brown-haired man, Mord, is startled, looking up with wide eyes while remaining seated on the ground. A massive stone dragon statue looms as a voice states it's time for the dream to separate from reality, summoning a descendant for a training reward, while someone else asks what it is, and the voice confirms it's a reward. The muscular white-haired man, Vernars, gives a thumbs up to the brown-haired man, Mord, explaining that Mord possesses the blood of Arita, the god of the heavens, which is why Vernars' bloodline is preserved in him, as the muscular dark-haired man, the younger Vernars, stands behind Mord. The muscular white-haired man, Vernars, smiles, pondering what may happen with Mord's unique blood combination, as he is a child of a god mixed with ordinary Vernars' blood. The muscular white-haired man, Vernars, points forward with a glowing hand, announcing he will give Mord the blessing of the body of the god of combat as a reward. The brown-haired man, Mord, is engulfed in vibrant blue and red energy, as a voice states that with the blessing of the god of combat, he will be able to use authority. The brown-haired man, Mord, looks up, surrounded by ethereal blue energy, pondering that the term body of the god of combat has never appeared in MDWD, his world. Debris falls through the sky as a voice. Likely the muscular white-haired man, Vernars, states this is all he can do for Mord. The muscular white-haired man, Vernars, stands next to the muscular dark-haired man, the younger Vernars, telling him to say goodbye to Mord and expressing his pleasure in seeing them, while the younger Vernars thinks Mord is still angry, his pride wounded by the defeat. The muscular dark-haired man, the younger Vernars, tells the brown-haired man, Mord, that he thought everyone he met was weak, but acknowledged the gods of combat are different and believes the current generation couldn't defeat Vernars even together. The brown-haired man, Mord, with glowing blue eyes, thanks the muscular dark-haired man, the younger Vernars, stating he learned a lot and hopes to see him again soon. The muscular dark-haired man, the younger Vernars, declares that there are more people to meet beyond the gate, and now that this training is over, he is setting his sights on them, then confirms, all right, I will, as debris crumbles. The brown-haired man, Mord, sits on the ground, in a fantastical, starry blue environment, wondering if his intense training was a dream, but assuming it wasn't pointless. The brown-haired man, Mord, sits before a radiant blue world fragment, described as a tool used by great ancient gods to create this world, a piece of a perfect world. The world fragment from the perfect world. Aiden used these fragments to gain immense power, eventually leading the world to an end. The brown-haired man, Mord, reaches out to the world fragment as it shatters into blue energy and he collapses, seemingly absorbing its power. Because the brown-haired man, Mord, took the world fragment first, Aiden won't become as strong as in the novel, acknowledging that from Aiden's perspective, he would be furious and extra stole his power. The white-haired man, Aiden, surrounded by blue energy, smiles, proclaiming that this is all for a real happy ending. Under a bright, sunny sky and green trees, a voice urgently calls out, "Lord Erna." The gray-haired woman Erna lies in a tree, reading, as a brown-haired man rushes toward her, announcing Mord's return from the god of combat's grave, to which Erna replies she is already making a plan, and the man asks what kind of plan. The gray-haired woman Erna beams, revealing her plan as the nice sister plan. Text on a dark, smoky background explains that unlike other families, the Werner's family successor candidates are not limited to the Archduke's children. A flag with a crest flutters above several figures as text explains that each successor candidate has been gathering Vernar's warriors, with 5 candidates currently in close contention for the position. Erna, Vidin, Huron, Dren, and Archduke Aaron. Mord clearing the god of combat's grave had a massive impact on all 5 of these successor candidates. A stream of orange liquid pours into a teacup, filling it from above. A dark-haired man with yellow hair thinks that all the successors will now focus on recruiting Mord to their side. The orange-haired man, Vidin, with a cunning smile, states he can't let a talent like Mord fall into the wrong hands and laughs, anticipating the other successors' disappointed faces as he holds a box labeled 6th Child Vidin. A brown-haired man with dark hair, identified as Mord, stands with his arms crossed as another brown-haired man, likely a steward, tells him this will be his new residence, Lord Mord, while a blonde woman stands beside the steward. Text describes the luxurious room as the quote-to-quote-quote-quote outer castle first region, a place reserved for only the wealthiest residents. As the view shifts to a grand chandelier, text continues, noting that most ordinary warriors stay in the second region, and Mord wonders if he is being treated well due to his Vernar's blood and awakened divine blood. An aerial view of a majestic castle complex suggests that Mord has been provided with ample space to train nearby. The brown-haired man, Mord, stands between 2 servants, a brown-haired man and a blonde woman, who assure him his orders will be served, offering new clothes and anything else he needs, making Mord realize he is finally living the life of a noble. From behind a grand double door, urgent voices call out, "Sir Mord, are you in there?" The blonde woman servant looks surprised as the brown-haired man, Mord, stands with his other servant, turning back to face 2 approaching men, one with dark hair and one with brown hair. The brown-haired man, Mord, with green eyes, looks to the side as an off-screen voice confirms, "So you are Mord." 2 muscular men in blue uniforms stand stiffly as text on the side describes the 4 ranks of warriors: normal, intermediate, advanced, and high. The brown-haired man, Mord, observes the 2 uniformed men, realizing they are intermediate warriors, as the dark-haired uniformed man announces they carry a message from young Master Dren and praises Mord as impressive. The dark-haired uniformed man dramatically unfurls a scroll, stating he believes Mord's talents will be of great use, asking him to serve as his warrior and promising the greatest of welcomes, as Mord and his servants look on. The dark-haired uniformed man smirks, telling Mord he should be grateful to even receive an offer to be young Master Dren's sword, while Mord looks surprised and wonders who Dren is. The brown-haired man, Mord, looks confused, scratching his head as he wonders who young Master Dren is, reasoning that with so many successors in MWDW, he can't remember, and only those who survive 7 years are truly remembered. The 2 men in blue uniforms look enraged, with flushed faces, as one of them furiously exclaims, You fool!" The dark-haired uniformed man angrily confronts the brown-haired man, Mord, asking if he's trying to start something by claiming not to remember, while the other uniformed man interjects, asking if Mord knows young Master Vidin. The 2 uniformed men look utterly shocked, exclaiming, "WH what?" while the brown-haired man, Mord, remains calm and unfazed. The muscular blonde man with scars, Wolse, enters the scene, looking down at the dark-haired uniformed man and questioning his presence, identifying him as an intermediate warrior of Vidin, the 6th young master, and noting that Mord possesses more than just Werner's blood. The muscular blonde man, Wolse, leans towards the dark-haired uniformed man, stating he is there for the same reason, while the uniformed man angrily tells him to get lost, claiming they arrive first. The muscular blonde man, Wolse, grins, taunting the uniformed man by saying he'd act more orderly if he were a warrior like him, prompting the uniformed man to angrily challenge him to go outside, but Wolse finishes his sentence, promising he'd welcome any offer. The muscular blonde man, Wolse, leans in close to the dark-haired uniformed man, threatening to destroy him and teach him a lesson, advising him to leave if he's not confident and report his failures to his master. The two uniformed men are livid, screaming Wolse and vowing that he will regret his actions today. The blonde-haired man scoffs that they always say that. As an onlooker's thought bubble notes, not all intermediate warriors are on the same level. Turning to his opponent, the muscular blonde-haired man addresses him as Sir Mord. A brown-haired man introduces himself as Wolse, and Mord offers a handshake, suggesting Senior might be a more appropriate title. As they shake hands, the blonde man, Wolse, insists his name is fine, arguing that true warrior ranking isn't determined by age. Mord agrees and cuts to the chase, asking what he gets for accepting an offer to join Veden's side. Wolse acknowledges Mord's rising fame and says he brought offers, but then dismisses them as meaningless. Getting uncomfortably close, Wolse threatens to beat Mord to a pulp if necessary to bring him to his lord. Wolse grins, telling Mord to get a grip, while Mord internally welcomes the fight as a chance to test his awakened blood and agrees to battle. In a castle courtyard, Mord and Wolse face off before a small crowd, ready to begin their duel. Mord asks if Sir Wolse needs a weapon, but the blonde man grins, stating he has something far stronger than a sword. Pat! Wolse summons a crackling golden aura around his fist, shouting the name of his technique, Impulse Gauntlet. Mord recognizes the advanced skill as Wolse taunts that his chances of winning without divine blood are 0, prompting Mord to gather blue lightning and agree to start. Crackling with blue lightning, Mord forms his own Impulse Gauntlets, stunning his opponent with the revelation. Wolse reels in shock, questioning how it's possible, as Mord retorts that he hasn't been idle and lunges forward. With a powerful sound effect, a blur of energy signifies a lightning-fast attack has been launched. Surprised by his opponent's speed, Wolse digs his heels into the stone courtyard to halt his momentum. A massive shockwave erupts as Mord's blue-charged fist collides with Wolse's golden one. The impact shatters the ground around them, leaving Mord standing as Wolse is knocked to his knee, admitting to himself he's strong. Laughing, Wolse rises, impressed and admitting he underestimated Mord, suspecting he'd been hiding his true strength all along. A powerful surge of blue mana erupts from Mord's body, and the stunned Wolse realizes his opponent's power is amplifying. Bathed in a brilliant blue aura, Mord coolly informs his opponent that it's too late for surprise, as that was merely a warm-up. Wolse expresses disbelief, thinking it's impossible for Mord to possess so much mana after barely defeating Instructor Daisley just days before. A look of realization dawns on Wolsey's face as he begins to understand the truth. Wolse charges forward, demanding to know why Mord hid his true strength during his previous fight. Mord remains silent, thinking to himself that his opponent wouldn't believe the explanation for his impossible growth anyway. Mord reveals the first reason for his power, the blessing of the body of the god of combat, which dramatically grew his physical and mana abilities. The second reason is the World Fragment, a mana source he learned to use from his memories of MWDW, though he has yet to use it. Seeing Mord's silence, Wolse accepts that he won't be getting an answer. Wolse admits he underestimated him, but declares he will now reveal his own real power as a menacing red aura begins to form. Mord watches with curiosity as his opponent's body begins to contort and transform into something monstrous and furred. The transformation reveals sharp fangs and claws, as Mord realizes what his opponent's mixed bloodline is. Mord stands his ground, facing the hulking silhouette of his transformed opponent against the castle backdrop. A single, ominous word appears in blood-red text, lycanthrope. His transformation complete, Wolse now stands as a massive, muscular werewolf, radiating a powerful red aura. With a glowing red eye, the newly transformed lycanthrope looks down on Mord and asks, "Are you ready?" The narrative explains the full moon curse from MWDW, where some went berserk while others mastered their beast form. A human-beast hybrid known as a lycanthrope stands ready for battle, its transformation complete. Mord notes with slight surprise that his opponent has gotten significantly bigger. Confident that his mana is still superior, Mord unleashes a powerful blast of crackling blue energy. Surrounded by his own intense aura, Mord looks on with a steely, determined expression. As he faces his larger foe, he steels his resolve, refusing to be pushed back. The two warriors clash, igniting a furious explosion of red and blue energy in the courtyard. Roar! The lycanthrope boasts that while Mord's mana is superior, its new form is far bigger and stronger. The massive werewolf swings its powerful arm, aiming to crush Mord. Mord braces as the lycanthrope lunges, its jaws crackling with red energy in a ferocious attack. The werewolf's claws slam into the ground, shattering the stone in a devastating display of raw power. Thrown back by the force, Mord slams against a wall, a trickle of blood dripping from his lip. Wiping his mouth, Mord analyzes the fight, concluding that while his mana is superior, Wolf's enhanced strength and build even the odds. Mord calmly stands and proposes an end to the fight, leaving the lycanthrope confused and surprised. The lycanthrope grins, asking if Mord is submitting, then confidently states that if he uses his divine blood, he won't be able to win. The dark-haired warrior declares he won't kill his adversary, then scoffs at their arrogance and demands they release their divine blood. A voice asserts they will finish the match in one go, while the dark-haired warrior's voice taunts about winning without divine blood after being beaten. Narrative text reveals it's almost time to use the world fragment and that its possessor can draw mana. Mord's dark-haired hand is shown, hinting he hasn't gone all out yet. Narrative text explains that after clearing the god of combat's grave, Mord successfully drew mana from the fragment using the novel's method. He meditates. Understanding his single fragment allows him the god of combat's body for 20 seconds. Mord, now emanating glowing blue energy, asserts that this power will be enough to break the balance. The dark-haired warrior's wolf-like transformed state appears, looking surprised as a voice states, increasing your mana more, you really are a monster. The transformed dark-haired warrior declares, okay, let's do it then. As it readies an attack, surrounded by crackling red energy, Mord, still dark-haired, stands defiant against a castle backdrop, surrounded by intense, crackling red energy attacks from the transformed dark-haired warrior. Mord, enveloped in blue energy, fiercely clashes with the dark-haired warrior in his human form amidst red energy attacks. The dark-haired warrior falls downward, surrounded by intense red and blue energy, as a powerful impact sounds. A hand reaches out as powerful blue energy erupts from below, sending the dark-haired warrior flying upwards with impact. The dark-haired warrior's wolf-like transformed state appears again, looking surprised. Mord, with glowing blue energy around his hand, looks determined, thinking, HMPH, is that it? Mord, with a blue energy aura, rises powerfully, causing an explosion that sends two bald, muscular men flying, hinting at his overwhelming power. Two bald, muscular men exclaim, Sir Wolb! As the dark-haired warrior is shown, looking distressed at the damage to his house. Two bald, muscular men are relieved, questioning if Sir Wolb is dead, as they rush to check on him amidst the damaged castle wall. A red-haired man addresses a blonde-haired man named Wolse, stating that Mord can be a huge help to their position. A close-up of the red-haired man as he continues to speak, asking for strength from Wolse. The blonde-haired man, Wolse, looks determined as the red-haired man asks him for his strength. A shadowy, clawed hand is shown below, hinting at Wolse's hidden power. The dark-haired warrior stands outside a repaired castle, pondering the maintenance fees for his house after the battle. The dark-haired warrior's eye widens as his subordinate exclaims, Sir Wolse, you are safe. A multi-panel image depicting the dark-haired warrior's intense red energy transformation, from human to a powerful, red flashing beast. The dark-haired man, Mord, with concerned eyes, thinks that the dark-haired warrior's form changed again and that he still had another card up his sleeve, reflecting there's no helping it and he needs to release his divine blood. Mord's voice says he's still rusty controlling his power and is a little worried, while Wolse demands stop. The transformed dark-haired warrior is shown fighting with red energy, being hit by a powerful blue energy blast. Lady Erna, a blonde woman, is seen alongside two bald men. One man taps her shoulder while another identifies her as Miss Erna, prompting a narrative thought about her being an heir candidate. Lady Erna questions the violence, while a man explains the dark-haired warrior is following Sir Vidin's command. Lady Erna laments that one of them would have died, with wolves having a higher chance of dying. Lady Erna explains that wolves lost consciousness and went crazy, then asks if the dark-haired warrior hasn't performed his second transformation yet. A subordinate confirms, agreeing to take the dark-haired warrior to the recovery room. Lady Erna greets Mord, noting she has heard things about him and has wanted to meet him. Lady Erna approaches Mord, who observes her strong build and compares it to his own, but notes her face is different. Lady Erna smiles charmingly, winks, and is surrounded by floating bunnies and flowers, offering Mord special permission to call her older sister. Mord stares blankly with tired eyes, contemplating the various older sister options, then politely declines Lady Erna's offer. Lady Erna reacts with extreme embarrassment, crying out in mortification as feathers fly around her. A man with glasses and brown hair, presumably Lady Erna's subordinate, explains that he told her to stop with the friendly older sister plan. The man with glasses explains that Mord, as an illegitimate child who lived a lowly life, wouldn't appreciate someone of a legitimate bloodline trying to be friendly, though Lady Erna thought he'd like it more. Lady Erna, with wide blue eyes, expresses surprise that Mord defeated Sir Wolf without releasing his divine blood, admitting she was shocked, while the man with glasses adds that Sir Wolf lacks practical experience and has been defeated by a high-ranking warrior. Lady Erna then claims dibs on Mord. A voice notes that the news of Mord defeating Sir Wolf has spread throughout the Archdukedom, increasing the competition to recruit him. A man with glasses, thinking about their past desire to recruit Mord, expresses urgency to a group of men gathered around a banquet table. He clarifies that instead of personally persuading him with good conditions, an urgent message is needed. The man with glasses explains the urgent message to Lady Erna, stating that Viscount Winsome will accompany Mord on the new obstruction mission. Lady Erna gasps in shock and disbelief upon hearing that Mord will accompany Viscount Winsome on the new obstruction mission. Mord stands before a quickly repaired castle, contemplating that Sir Wolf accepted his loss and even paid for the damages, contrary to his expectation. Mord expresses surprise to see Kessner, a blonde-haired man, sitting before him. Kessner observes that Mord has been causing a scene since his return, asking if he cannot live a quiet life. Mord replies that everyone wants a piece of him, and he had no choice, then asks Kessner's purpose. Kessner informs Mord that in 10 days, he and his subordinates will leave to complete a task, and invites Mord to join them. Mord questions Kessner about his task, and Kessner confirms it is to, quote, prevent demonification. Narrative text explains that while monsters in demonified and normal dungeons exist, they differ in origin. Ordinary dungeons are natural occurrences, but demonification is a purposeful act of demons seeking to take over humanity, with strong demons playing a vital role. Narrative text defines Stage 1 of demonification as an unknown vortex appearing, Stage 2 as the vortex solidifying and becoming enterable, and Stage 3 as the nearby land corrupting and demonic beings becoming much more powerful. Narrative text warns that if demonification isn't stopped by Stage 3, a dungeon break occurs, causing both worlds to fully connect and demonic beings to start entering the human world. Narrative text emphasizes that Stage 3 causes damage to their world, making it ideal to stop things during Stage 2. It also states that only those who have awakened their divine blood can reach the heart of Stage 2 dungeons and destroy their core. Narrative text concludes that this is why the Vernars family, who possess the god of combat's blood, is considered precious. Kessner tells Mord that while this mission is a great chance for a new warrior, it is dangerous, and he won't force Mord to come if he declines. The brown-haired man, Mord, ponders that the challenge ahead might be exactly what he needs, as he's grown tired of fighting alone. The brown-haired man, Mord, thinks that accepting Kessner's offer could be the perfect opportunity. The brown-haired man, Mord, smiles, wondering if he should begin his training in the afternoon. An aerial view displays several shadowy figures standing in a vast, empty courtyard of a grand castle complex. The blonde man, Viscount Wingsall, introduces the brown-haired man, Mord, to a gathering of muscular men, announcing Mord will join them on their mission. The blonde man, Viscount Wingsall, introduces Mord as the one who defeated Instructor Daisley, and recently the intermediate warrior Wolse, urging everyone to greet him. Several muscular men react with surprise, one yelling loudly as the brown-haired man, Mord, thinks Kessner's men are likely all advanced warriors. The brown-haired man, Mord, senses the men are concerned about a new warrior like him joining their special mission. The brown-haired man, Mord, prepares himself, feeling he has no choice but to prove his strength, wondering if this new person is his next target. Hands clap together, emphasizing a firm resolve or agreement. The light brown-haired man, Erickson, excitedly introduces himself as a, quote, super rookie, and expresses happiness to meet the brown-haired man, Mord. The muscular men offer various reactions to Mord, some asking if he likes to drink, while the brown-haired man, Mord, wonders if they are surprisingly accepting of him. A hand claps loudly, signaling a command to focus the group. The blonde man, Viscount Wingsall, tells the group they will focus on teamwork for the next 10 days, but he must depart to challenge the god of combat's grave. The blonde man, Viscount Wingsall, instructs the light brown-haired man, Erickson, to take care of the brown-haired man, Mord, and Erickson enthusiastically agrees, telling Viscount Wingsall to stay safe. The light brown-haired man, Erickson, introduces himself and another dark-haired advanced warrior to the brown-haired man, Mord, explaining Mord's role will be to support Sir Kessner in their formation. The light brown-haired man, Erickson, encourages them to get along, since teamwork is important, while the brown-haired man, Mord, with a confused expression, wonders how to get along with someone emotionless. The dark-haired man appears stoic, as the brown-haired man, Mord, wonders how he's supposed to get along with someone so emotionless, while small, fluttering creatures float nearby. A finger points forward, signaling a command to begin. All right, since we don't have time, the light brown-haired man, Erickson, gives a thumbs up, suggesting they start training without delay. 10 days later, a large blue energy gate opens as black energy emanates, and several figures observe, with a voice announcing Viscount Wingsall's emergence and expressing confidence he'd clear it. A hand extends from an unseen figure, suggesting a gesture of greeting or offering. The blonde man, Viscount Wingsall, is congratulated on his safe return and asked if he'd like to eat, but he politely declines due to an important mission he must attend to. As the blonde man, Viscount Wingsall, walks away, a hand waves goodbye, wishing him safety on his journey. The blonde man, Viscount Wingsall, ponders if the brown-haired man, Mord, has gotten used to things. The brown-haired man, Mord, surrounded by powerful blue energy, intensely trains, demonstrating his combat prowess with forceful impacts. Blue energy crackles and bursts intensely, indicating a powerful exertion of force. The blonde man, Viscount Wingsall, is thrown back by a powerful blue energy burst, questioning the source of this immense power. The blonde man, Viscount Wingsall, notes that the brown-haired man, Mord, is completely different from the god of combat spirit, wondering if Mord has grown stronger since then. The light brown-haired man, Erickson, runs towards the blonde man, Viscount Wingsall, greeting him warmly and inquiring about the brown-haired man, Mord's training progress. The blonde man, Viscount Wingsall, tells the light brown-haired man, Erickson, that they are focusing on Mord's basic abilities and physical reinforcement, including nullifying venoms, then asks for Erickson's perspective. The light brown-haired man, Erickson, marvels at the brown-haired man, Mord's quick uptake and unbelievable progress, thinking he's like a monster for his rapid strength gain despite only recently awakening his divine blood. The brown-haired man, Mord, unleashes a powerful blue energy punch, exclaiming with a smile that this is fun. The brown-haired man, Mord, continues to unleash powerful blows, finding the training truly enjoyable. The brown-haired man, Mord, smiles confidently while surrounded by crackling blue energy. The brown-haired man, Mord, thinks he feels stronger with every new lesson and can do anything now, despite not having a dream or goal in the past. The brown-haired man, Mord, unleashes a powerful blue energy punch in his room. Intense blue energy crackles and bursts, indicating explosive power emanating from the brown-haired man, Mord. A voice states they will now move to the mission area, as fluffy white clouds drift in a clear blue sky. The blonde man, Viscount Wingsall, thanks the uniformed men for their training, assuring them the mission will be a breeze. The brown-haired man, Mord, and the light brown-haired man, Erickson, smile confidently as Erickson assures Viscount Wingsall that no one is worried about the mission with Mord around. The blonde man, Viscount Wingsall, thinks about how cooperation is crucial and was worried if the brown-haired man, Mord, could work with the team in 10 days. A dark-haired man notes that the brown-haired man, Mord, seems mature enough to know his role, while the blonde man, Viscount Wingsall, feels Mord looks older than he is. The blonde man, Viscount Wingsall, asks the brown-haired man, Mord, if he's sure they can return safely, and Mord confidently replies, eager for the mission. The blonde man, Viscount Wingsall, affirms perfect as he tells his team to conserve energy and promises the brown-haired man, Mord, plenty of chances to fight, with the men raising their hands in affirmation. Several muscular men, including the blonde man, Viscount Wingsall, and the brown-haired man, Mord, stand atop a rocky outcrop under a lightning-filled purple sky, ready for combat. The blonde man, Viscount Wingsall, looks distressed as purple energy bursts around him, and text states the second stage of demonification has already begun. Intense purple energy bursts and glows, indicating a powerful, ominous presence. The light brown-haired man, Erickson, runs towards the blonde man, Viscount Wingsall, asking why the eruption day is earlier than expected, and Viscount Wingsall confirms new demonification signs, stating erosion is imminent and that two proximate demonifications fusing increases danger. The brown-haired man, Mord, then thinks they must forget fun and wrap things up quickly, and Viscount Wingsall emphasizes staying focused without a break, despite their exhaustion. Kessner, alongside Mord and Reika, directs the team to immediately enter and target the glowing portal's center. Mord observes the dark, corrupted castle bathed in a sinister red and purple glow, thinking it feels like a picture. The team identifies the heavily corrupted, lightning-filled castle as their target center, as dog-like growls sound nearby. Kessner identifies the approaching hellhounds by their sounds, noting their deceptively small numbers are still dangerous, while another voice warns more foes await. A voice exclaims in surprise at the sight of large, green-skinned orcs with glowing red eyes as heavy stomping sounds. Kessner orders Reke and Mord to quickly activate their divine blood, confirming Mord remembers the divine blood trap technique before addressing everyone. Kessner, Mord, and Reek stand enveloped in a powerful, glowing blue energy circle, ready to engage. Blue energy expands dramatically as Kessner, Mord, and Reek's eyes glow, signifying their activated power as the command to move appears. A powerful blue energy blast erupts forward, pushing back the purple glowing demonic mass as a voice shouts, "Out!" From an overhead view, Mord leaps forward through the chaotic battlefield, surrounded by multiple, rapid blue energy impacts. The blonde-haired man strikes with explosive yellow energy, while the white-haired man, Mord, unleashes a powerful blue energy attack. Mord strikes with intense blue energy amidst purple chaos as a shadowy figure falls, overwhelmed by the explosive impact. A blood-splattered, green-skinned orc with glowing red eyes stares menacingly, wounded in the brutal fight. A dark-haired man unleashes a yellow energy attack, while the red-orange-haired man, Reike, stands ready, crackling with intense yellow energy. A massive explosion of crackling yellow and red energy devastates the area with a resounding blast. Kessner, surrounded by blue energy, looks puzzled and states that something feels strange. A chaotic mass of humanoid figures advances rapidly amidst dark energy. As the thought notes their overwhelming speed despite their numbers, the team realizes the demonification fusion is accelerating, making reinforcements impossible, leading Kessner to declare they must break through to the core quickly. Kessner orders Reika and Mord to engage the numerous Cyclopes, declaring he will confront Etienne, to which a subordinate replies, "Yes, sir." As two Cyclopes stand ready, a powerful burst of blue energy illuminates the scene, signaling the start of their engagement. Mord charges forward, unleashing a powerful blue energy strike that lands directly on a large Cyclops. Intense blue energy blasts repeatedly strike and overwhelm two massive Cyclopes amidst the chaotic battle. A powerful blue energy blast sends a Cyclops reeling backward through the air, defeated. Kessner observes Mord's fearless combat in his first demonification mission, thinking he's truly impressive, just as he noticed during training. Rike stands ready, while the large red-skinned demon, Etienne, looks surprised, asking when, as a smaller figure prepares to confront him. Etienne unleashes a blast of condensed energy, while Kessner realizes he needs to quickly set his trap. A powerful blue energy blast strikes Etienne directly, sending the large demon flying backward. Kessner stands below the reeling red demon, Etienne, as Mord attacks the colossal creature surrounded by purple lightning. Mord calmly directs Reek, "On your right," as Reek reacts with a startled exclamation and crackling energy sounds. Powerful blue energy blasts repeatedly strike and send red-skinned demons reeling from the forceful impacts. Mord charges with swirling blue energy, confronting a demon whose menacing red eye looms from above. A forceful blue energy blast strikes the ground, creating a powerful impact. A dark figure, Mord, is enveloped in an expansive burst of bright blue energy, showcasing his power. The dark-haired man, Rike, gazes at Mord with surprise, thinking that while he knew Mord was impressive, he's actually a monster. A subordinate thanks Rike for protecting him from the Cyclope's blood, to which Rike responds that the Viscount is likely finished and they should hurry to the center too. The blonde-haired man, Kessner, appears surprised, thinking, Viscount? As menacing red-skinned demons with horns and wings are revealed. 5 red-skinned, winged demons are seen flying, confirming the team's suspicion that the demonification fusion has occurred. The fusion has accelerated the demonification, and with 2 high-ranked demons now at the core, the dark-haired men realize they must break through quickly. Mord turns in surprise, exclaiming as the dark-haired man, Rike, is violently pulled down amidst blood, caught by an unseen force. A demon's menacing mouth is seen as the dark-haired man, Rike, is dragged away bleeding, while Kessner shouts his name in alarm. The dark-haired man, Kessner, looks down at the barren ground, calling out for Mord, realizing he's alone. A massive, violent impact shatters the ground, sending debris flying. The dark-haired man, Mord, crouches amidst dust and debris, looking bewildered and wondering what just happened. Mord looks up as an unseen voice expresses surprise that he fell from such a height, yet remains unharmed. A shadowy figure, seated on a throne amidst a pool of red energy, questions if Mord possesses the god of combat's blood despite his youth. Mord's eyes widen in surprise as he begins to question what he's seeing. Wait, is that perhaps? Mord realizes he's found the dimensional door connecting the demon world to his, identifying it as the dungeon's deepest core, and spots the bastard responsible. Mord confronts the large, red-skinned demon lying wounded, asking if it is the dungeon's core, and it replies, yes. The demon core, Baron Altaz, rises menacingly, declaring himself Mord's bringer of death and a chosen agent of formidable darkness. Kessner, eyes wide with shock amidst purple lightning, shouts, "See, Captain!" before gasping that Mord was in danger. A dramatic voice exclaims that someone was pulled into the ground. The blond man, Viscount Wingsall, expresses his shock, questioning what happened amidst crackling purple energy. Amidst a landscape with bat-like creatures, a uniformed man urgently asks for their location, followed by a request to be followed. The dark-haired uniformed man looks surprised as a voice declares, that's. The dark-haired man in a blue uniform questions Baron Altaz why he was brought to the dark, desolate area. Another voice responds, ah, that. The red-skinned demon, Baron Altaz, explains that a dungeon fusion brought other demons, prompting a bet between them. The loser protects the core. The blue-skinned demon, Baron Altaz, reveals his true form, explaining to the 2 men that the winner of their bet gets to enjoy a feast outside. Baron Altaz explains he lost the bet and is there for that reason, then looks down at a figure partially consumed by red energy, lamenting that he had to at least eat the youngest of the 3 divine bloods. The dark-haired man with glowing blue eyes, Mord, thinks he never expected a 1-to-1 fight with a demon of this level. Narrative text explains that stronger demon cores lead to more diverse demons, detailing ordinary ranks as low, intermediate, and advanced, while feudal lord ranks include Marquis, Count, Viscount, Baron, and Baronet, showcasing different demon types. Narrative text defines lord-rank demons as Archduke and Duke, stating a Baron is strong enough to kill most high-rank warriors easily, and the blonde man, Viscount Wingsall, thinks this situation is bad, despite Sir Kessner's ability to easily defeat one. A thought bubble explains the kid has monstrous potential but hasn't fully awakened, making him unprepared for a feudal lord demon. The blonde man, Viscount Wingsall, surrounded by blue energy, laments the choice of the youngest and declares he will end the demon. The red demon chuckles, daring him to try. The blue-skinned demon, Baron Altaz, grabs the dark-haired man's arm, threatening to eat him and disintegrate him, while his comrade, the dark-haired man, Sir Reek, urgently yells that he will support his captain. The now white-haired man, Mord, with powerful white and blue energy radiating from him, thinks there is no need for support. The white-haired man, Mord, surges with blue energy, declaring he can handle this alone, as the blonde man, Viscount Wingsall, urgently calls out for him to wait. The white-haired man, Mord, thinks there is no point in questioning his current capabilities, and resolves that if fighting is his only option, he will fight with everything he has. The red-skinned demon, Baron Altaz, laughs mockingly, questioning what the white-haired man, Mord, can do even if he opens his divine blood, then shouts for him to proceed. The white-haired man, Mord, radiates blue energy, preparing to face the red-skinned demon, Baron Ultaz, as the demon commands him to struggle. The red-skinned demon, Baron Ultaz, advances with red energy, acknowledging the white-haired man, Mord's, strength but declaring this is his end. The red-skinned demon, Baron Ultaz, stands within a glowing red magical circle, preparing a powerful attack. The white-haired man, Mord, is engulfed in blue energy as a voice announces, "Fire spirits dance." The white-haired man, Mord, unleashes a powerful blue energy attack with glowing eyes as a voice declares, "Mirage destruction." The red-skinned demon, Baron Ultaz, laughs, then thinks he intended to play with the white-haired man, Mord, longer before killing him. The white-haired man, Mord, delivers a powerful blue energy punch, striking the red-skinned demon's face. A chaotic burst of white and red energy explodes as the white-haired man, Mord, and the red-skinned demon's powers collide violently. The red-skinned demon, Baron Ultaz, looks surprised. Then the white-haired man, Mord, extends his hand to summon blue energy, forming two glowing blue orbs as Baron Ultaz looks on in alarm. The white-haired man, Mord, charges forward, radiating powerful blue energy bursts. The white-haired man, Mord, breathes heavily and thinks that while he's fought several times since becoming Mord, this is the first time he's giving it his all. The white-haired man, Mord's eye, shows fierce resolve as the red-skinned demon, Baron Ultaz, is violently repelled by an overwhelming red energy burst. The red-skinned demon, Baron Ultaz, glows with red energy, his eyes burning with fury. The red-skinned demon, Baron Ultaz, visibly injured but still moving, questions if the white-haired man, Mord, can still move after that attack. The red-skinned demon, Baron Ultaz, is thrown back by a powerful blow, thinking he didn't expect the white-haired man to die easily anyway. The red-skinned demon, Baron Ultaz, moves with explosive speed through the battle, ending in a flash of light. The white-haired man, Mord, is engulfed in intense, glowing blue energy, his eyes radiating power. The white-haired man, Mord, unleashes an explosive blue energy attack, colliding with a powerful red energy counter from the red-skinned demon. A colossal ornate sword glows with menacing red energy, emanating a powerful aura. The white-haired man, Mord, leaps with blue energy, while the red-skinned demon, Baron Ultaz, charges, followed by Mord, poised to strike with blue lightning. The white-haired man, Mord, looks intensely focused, his eyes glowing with resolve. The red-skinned demon, Baron Ultaz, is reduced to a mound of shadowy red and purple energy. A large mound of red, shadowy energy sits in a ruined hall, slowly dripping. The white-haired man, Mord, stands before a pulsating red core, surrounded by blue and red energy rings, situated atop a red mound in the grand hall, slowly dripping. The white-haired man, Mord, looks surprised and slightly pained, realizing what he's found and exclaiming, "That's the pulsating red core, radiating intense light and energy, is identified as the core." The defeated blue-skinned demon's head lies detached on the ground. The white-haired man, Mord, tells the dark-haired man, Sarik, to collect the loot and join the rest, as Mord is heading to the deepest part. Sarik warns that it's dangerous due to the dungeon fusion and unknown threats. The dark-haired man, Sarik, expresses concern, but the white-haired man, Mord, confidently reassures him not to worry before Sarik calls out to his captain. The light brown-haired man, Erickson, looks surprised and greets the dark-haired man, Sarik, remarking, "You're here." The blonde man, Viscount Wingsall, looks utterly shocked, asking if there weren't any demons there. The blonde man, Viscount Wingsall, and the dark-haired man, Sarik, stand before a large, ornate sword stuck in the ground. Viscount Wingsall identifies it as belonging to a sword-wielding feudal lord demon and asks Sareke if he killed it. The blonde man, Viscount Wingsall, explains he was lucky to win because the feudal lord demon underestimated him and dropped its guard, thinking it unusual for such a demon to lose to someone who only recently awakened their divine blood. The white-haired man contemplates the good profit from the situation, while an unseen voice expresses disapproval. Sir Mord, a dark brown-haired man, is formally introduced with a calm smile. Two dark figures discuss breaking the core, deciding to wait for Mord to gain enough knowledge and experience to choose his future. A group of men greets the gray-haired man, who internally considers a 5-year time frame. The dark brown-haired man, Mord, confidently states that 1 year will be sufficient. Following the demonification mission, Multiple subsequent tasks led to their return to the Archduke's residence a month and a half later. A voice congratulates Sir Mord as they return to a grand, sunlit castle. A blonde-haired man informs the dark-haired man about an upcoming banquet in 5 days, surprising him. Narrative text explains the banquet honors warriors who completed missions every 2 months, with the Archduke presenting rewards, symbolized by a golden statue. The blonde-haired man instructs the dark-haired man to rest well and not be late for the important banquet, which he acknowledges. The dark brown-haired man, Mord, realizes many important figures and successor candidates will attend the banquet. Narrative text reveals Aiden's intense conflicts with Archduke Vernars, detailing his scheme to reverse their fortunes. Narrative explains Aiden's scheme, befriending Leon Vernars, who left the residence, to install him as the new Archduke. A succession war centered on Leon Vernars, resulting in his victory and the Vernars family becoming Aiden's reliable allies. The Archduke Vernars family, now depicted among armored figures, became a crucial ally to Aiden. A hand holds a pendant as the person considers gaining the Archduke's support before Aiden, given the need for strong allies from the Vernars family. The dark brown-haired man, awkward in formal attire, considers that 5 strong successor candidates will attend the banquet. An overhead view reveals a bustling banquet hall as the dark brown-haired man decides to remain vigilant. A blonde-haired man waves enthusiastically, calling out to Mord across the hall. The blonde-haired man asks Mord if he was waiting, assuming he had no companion, which Mord confirms with a smile. The blonde-haired man advises Mord to make friends at the awards ceremony and subsequent drinks to bring companions next time. An announcer calls for the entry of high-rank warrior Erikson and normal-rank warrior Mord. Attendees whisper questions about Mord, marveling at his defeat of a demon baron and his surprising height for his age. Onlookers discuss Mord's recent warrior status, his non-divine blood victory over Sir Wolse, and debate if he is stronger than a legitimate successor, before concluding his bloodline as the Archduke's son is more significant. The dark brown-haired man Mord greets the surprised blonde-haired man Erikson. The blonde-haired man Erikson bows respectfully to Mord, confirming it has been a while. The muscular blonde-haired man with a goatee, Dren Vernars, the 3rd successor candidate, is introduced. Dren Vernars, the blonde-haired man, requests to speak privately with Sir Mord, causing hesitation in the blonde-haired Erikson. Dren Vernars, the blonde-haired man, warns the red-orange-haired man about his poor manners, prompting the latter to demand clarification. Viden Vernars, the red-orange-haired 6th successor candidate, confidently accuses Dren of obvious attempts to recruit Mord. Dren Vernars laughs at Viden's mistake, causing Viden to react with surprised disbelief. Dren Vernars clarifies to a slightly confused Mord that he intended to apologize for his subordinate's past rudeness. Dren Vernars smiles warmly, reminding Mord that he sent subordinates to invite him to a meal previously. The surrounding crowd murmurs, surprised by Dren's unexpected apology and speculating about his intentions and its impact on his image. A hand extends forward, presenting a small, intricately designed golden box. Dren offers Mord a golden token of apology, which Mord, recognizing Dren's political maneuver to save face, accepts. Mord thanks a smiling Dren, while Viden, furious, shouts that he won't let Dren take Mord, calling him a snake. The red-orange-haired Viden clears his throat loudly, demanding Sir Mord's attention. Viden introduces himself as Sir Wolse's lord, claiming he's heard of Mord's strength and sought a meeting, before another voice abruptly interrupts. Viden's blue eye widens as he recognizes an interrupting voice, thinking, this voice is Erna. Lady Erna, the blonde-haired woman, greets Mord warmly, telling him to relax, while the red-orange-haired Viden angrily protests that he was speaking to Mord. Lady Erna, the 7th successor candidate, smiles sweetly, suggesting she only observed Mord and Dren conversing, not Viden. Lady Erna provocatively asks Viden if he even greeted Mord, prompting Viden to angrily snap, telling her to shut up, despite her being younger. Lady Erna, with glowing eyes, mockingly reminds Viden he's just a younger cousin, then sarcastically mentions his funny act of breaking her arm, to which Viden angrily asks if breaking both my legs was also a light punishment. A general thought questions if Viden is skilled enough to kill, while the red-orange-haired Viden angrily challenges, "You're all talk, huh? Do you want to go at it?" The blonde-haired Dren apologizes to Mord for his siblings' childish behavior in front of an important figure, to which Mord calmly replies, It's okay. Mord thoughtfully observes the 3 successor candidates present, reflecting on the importance of first impressions. Mord mentally evaluates the candidates. Dreen Vernars is meticulous yet untrustworthy, while Veden Vernars is dismissed as kind of stupid. Mord assesses Erna Vernars as odd, and her skills unknown, concluding his initial evaluations. A pale-haired man intercedes, telling the 3 successor candidates to cease their bickering and avoid trouble before the Archduke arrives. The blonde woman, Haran, looks surprised to find the gray-haired man. Haran, believing he was busy, but he clarifies his subordinates are still working, as it's only been 30 minutes since his arrival. The red-haired man questions the gray-haired man, Haran, about his liking for banquets, but Haran explains he came to see the main character of the event. The smiling gray-haired man is officially introduced as Haran Vernars, successor candidate 4th child. The dark-haired man in a dark suit shakes hands with the white-haired man, Huran, complimenting his rough hands and asking if he sent the demon baron flying with them, which Huran confirms. The white-haired man, Huran, expresses his admiration for the dark-haired man and desires to fight alongside him, while the dark-haired man thinks Huran is a kind individual with monstrous talent, one of 2 final candidates. The dark-haired man thinks, wondering why the first young master Alan is not attending. A voice commands everyone's attention in the grand hall, announcing that the Archduke will speak before the ceremony, as the red-haired man, the white-haired man, Huran, and the dark-haired man stand among the crowd. The old white-haired Archduke stands at a podium, expressing pride in everyone's achievements over the last 2 months, and encouraging them to continue their efforts. The old white-haired Archduke, holding a golden statue of a warrior, announces the commencement of the awards ceremony. 2 dark, silhouetted figures stand on the grand blue carpet at the foot of a large staircase in a vast hall. The old white-haired Archduke stands at a podium, looking down at a kneeling blonde man with long hair. The old white-haired Archduke looks down at the kneeling blonde man, Viscount Wingsall. A foot taps onto the blue carpet as a voice announces, next is the dark-haired man, Mord, stands confidently in a dark suit with a blue collar, ready to receive his award. An unseen speaker praises the dark-haired man, Mord, for killing a demon baron alone at 15. Stating they couldn't have done it at that age. The Archduke announces Mord's appointment as an intermediate rank warrior, surprising the onlookers who acknowledge his baron kill justifies a high rank status despite few missions. The old white-haired Archduke approaches the dark-haired man, Mord, commenting on his growth and expressing a desire to witness his skills again. The dark-haired man, Mord, looks away, deep in thought. Several men, including the dark-haired man, Mord, and the blonde man, Viscount Wingsall, enjoy a banquet around a circular table laden with food. The blonde man, Viscount Wingsall, approaches the dark-haired man, Mord, with a serious expression and asks to speak with him. The blonde man, Viscount Wingsall, warns someone against drinking too much, reminding them of an early morning obligation, while another man asks for the destination. The blonde man, Viscount Wingsall, looks intensely at the dark-haired man and addresses him, Sir Mord. A framed painting of an elderly man hangs above a lit fireplace in a dark, ornate room as a voice thinks, my master wants to see you. A dark-haired man, Mord, walks alone through a desolate, sprawling building, wondering why it's so empty. The dark-haired man, Mord, stands before enormous doors, thinking this must be the place and wondering how to open them. The dark-haired man, Mord, looks surprised as a voice says, you're here. And he realizes someone is opening the door with telekinesis. A powerful cloaked figure stands at the end of a long hall as the dark-haired man, Mord, thinks he is definitely very powerful, and the figure welcomes him, stating he has come a long way. The blindfolded old white-haired man, identified as Ilden Vernars, greets Sir Mord. Narrative text reveals Ilden Vernars is the general of the Gatekeeper Legion, the Archduke's older brother, formerly the first young master, who lost everything after being defeated by his half-brother in the God of Combat Spirit and has not appeared publicly since. The white-haired man, Mord, thinks about why Ilden would invite him to his personal mansion. The blindfolded old white-haired man, Ilden Vernars, asks the dark-haired man, Mord, if Kestner mentioned him, then requests to touch Mord's face since he is blind, which Mord allows, noting Ilden's voice resembles the Archduke's. Ilden Vernars touches Mord's face, commenting he doesn't resemble his father, to which Mord agrees, saying he likely takes after his mother, and Ilden acknowledges this. Ilden Vernars asks the dark-haired man, Mord, if he knows why he was called, and Mord replies he only heard Ilden wanted to see him, prompting Ilden to chuckle about Kessner. Ilden Werners reveals he called Mord to make an offer but first wishes to check his skills, asking if Mord is willing. Narrative text explains that Ilden was seeking someone to help him bring down another, and though Leon had potential with Aiden's support, Ilden was drawn in by Mord's own potential. The white-haired man, Mord, surges with blue energy, thinking that if he proves his potential here, Ilden will choose him instead. The blindfolded, old white-haired man, Ilden Werners, makes a sound of surprise. Ooh. The white-haired man, Mord, confidently replies, yes, of course, surrounded by blue energy. The white-haired man, Mord, charges forward with a sudden step, radiating powerful blue energy. The white-haired man, Mord, looks intensely focused, his eyes glowing white, surrounded by crackling blue energy. The white-haired man, Mord, unleashes a powerful blue energy attack, propelling himself with great force. The white-haired man, Mord, thinks in surprise that an impulse ball knocked back his attack, realizing it's no ordinary impulse ball. Narrative text explains that the opponent has wrapped the impulse ball with his aura, a feat beyond even a masterclass mana fighter. Narrative text highlights the opponent's extraordinary skill, stating he is controlling dozens of the aura-wrapped impulse balls. The blindfolded old white-haired man, Ilden Werners, stands with outstretched arms, emanating powerful blue electrical energy. The white-haired man, Mord, thinks that handling aura is difficult, as narrative text defines aura as a realm above mana control, requiring elevated mana senses. A thought bubble from Mord asserts that Ilden's aura, despite its power, is not impenetrable. The white-haired man, Mord, surges forward with intense blue energy, resolving to prevent recoil with his god of combat physique and push through with brute strength. The blindfolded old white-haired man, Ilden Werners, observes Mord's sudden increase in strength as Mord moves with incredible speed, leaving multiple blurry trails. The blindfolded old white-haired man, Ilden Werners, compliments Mord's speed, but confidently states he can simply create more impulse balls, holding a crackling orange energy orb. The blindfolded old white-haired man, Ilden Werners, thinks this is what he expected, intently focused on the challenge. Ilden Werners' hand glows with crackling blue energy, forming a powerful impulse ball. The blindfolded old white-haired man, Ilden Werners, stands radiating immense blue energy from his raised hand. Blue electrical energy crackles and pulses intensely across the scene. The white-haired man, Mord, is violently thrown back by the forest fall energy blast, as the blindfolded old white-haired man, Ilden Werners, wonders where Mord learned to destroy an impulse ball while simultaneously creating his own. The white-haired man, Mord, unleashes a powerful energy strike, connecting with the blindfolded old white-haired man, Ilden Werners, who braces for impact. The white-haired man, Mord, thinks his opponent's aura is acting as armor, as Mord's glowing blue fist aims to penetrate Ilden's defense while multiple energy projections of Mord attack. The white-haired man, Mord, now empowered by glowing blue energy, declares his intent to use fragments to increase his mana. The blindfolded old white-haired man, Ilden Werners, looks surprised, thinking that while Mord exploited his opening, the impulse attack is slowly fading. The white-haired man, Mord, delivers a decisive punch, sending the blindfolded old white-haired man, Ilden Werners, reeling back as Mord shouts, "Got him!" The white-haired man, Mord, triumphantly grins, declaring he felt the impact and laughing loudly in victory. A booming laugh echoes as a shadowy figure dissipates, and narrative text reveals there are multiple levels to Divine Blood Awakening. Narrative text explains that the first level of Divine Blood Awakening changes hair and eye color to silver, a trait visually evident in the white-haired man, Mord's, glowing eye. The blindfolded old white-haired man, Ilden Werners, surrounded by crackling energy, feels the surge of power and questions if this is fate and if the god of combat is watching them. The blindfolded old white-haired man, Ilden Werners, stands amid a dazzling burst of silver lightning, signifying a new level of power. Narrative text describes the second level of Divine Blood Awakening as being surrounded by silver lightning, indicating a closer existence to the divine realm, depicted as a glowing orb. The white-haired man, Mord, unleashes a blue energy punch against the blindfolded old white-haired man, Ilden Werners, both surrounded by crackling energy, as Ilden prepares a counter. A powerful blue energy explosion erupts from the white-haired man, Mord's, fist, surrounded by crackling silver lightning, as his attack strikes. The blindfolded old white-haired man, Ilden Vernars, stands confidently amidst the crackling silver lightning, seemingly unfazed by the powerful attack. The blindfolded old white-haired man, Ilden Vernars, impressed, compliments Mord's reflexes. The blindfolded old white-haired man, Ilden Vernars, smirks, noting Mord damaged him despite Ilden's level 2 divine blood awakening, and that Mord isn't intimidated at all. The blindfolded old white-haired man, Ilden Vernars, congratulates Sir Mord, then ends the fight, claiming he shouldn't get any more excited. Narrative text explains Ilden Vernars is one of the strongest Vernars, despite losing to the Archduke, possessing monstrous power, as the dark-haired man who resembles Leon is shown. The blindfolded old white-haired man, Ilden Vernars, approaches the dark-haired man, Mord, saying he's seen enough and that his legion needs him, to which Mord asks if this is his offer. The dark-haired man, Mord, looks directly at Ilden and simply responds, yes. The blindfolded old white-haired man, Ilden Vernars, looks at the dark-haired man, Mord, stating his name. The blindfolded old white-haired man, Ilden Vernars, asks the dark-haired man, Mord, if he will join their Gatekeeper Legion as a grand fortress stands under a bright sky. Narrative text describes the Gatekeeper Legion as the elite of the Vernars Principality, on par with the Watchmen, composed of veterans skilled in war tactics, as a group of armored soldiers is seen. Narrative text outlines the demon realms, revealing the Great Demon Realm is in the south, while the White Demon Realm to the north is gradually demonified. It states the Gatekeeper Legion actively influences the continent and opposes an organization as powerful as the Archduke Vernar's family. The narrative highlights the Divine Blood successor and the Renowned Order's family standing majestically before a grand palatial building. The Gatekeeper Legion has a high death rate due to frequent conflicts. The dark-haired man, Mord, thinks the blonde man's expression was unhappy, realizing the region is only for warriors who need to travel. The blindfolded old white-haired man, Ilden Vernars, tells the dark-haired man, Mord, that all successor candidates desire him, and that threats will persist until he chooses his path, adding that Kessner's support has limits. The blindfolded old white-haired man, Ilden Vernars, explains the North's White Demon Realm is beyond the succession candidate's reach, allowing Mord to focus on his potential. The dark-haired man, Mord, agrees and thinks there are many things to gain there. The dark-haired man, Mord, contemplates that the White Demon Realm might hold even things Aiden couldn't acquire. The dark-haired man, Mord, looks with a slight smirk, stating he has two conditions. The blindfolded old white-haired man, Ilden Vernars, curious, asks what Mord's conditions are. The dark-haired man, Mord, asks the blindfolded old white-haired man, Ilden Vernars, to be his sparring partner whenever he is available, surprising Ilden. The blindfolded old white-haired man, Ilden Vernars, questions if Mord wants him to teach him, but the dark-haired man, Mord, clarifies he just wants training through duels, thinking it's a valuable chance to fight without fearing for his life. The blindfolded old white-haired man, Ilden Vernars, laughs, calling the dark-haired man Mord bold and agreeing to spar with him until Ilden leaves for the north in 20 days, after Mord confirms he can strengthen himself just through duels. The dark-haired man, Mord, makes a bold request to be allowed a year to freely roam outside. The blindfolded old white-haired man, Ilden Vernars, asks what the dark-haired man, Mord, plans to do with a whole year, and Mord replies he has something personal to take care of. The dark-haired man, Mord, thinks his request is selfish, but he needs to find world fragments before Aiden, who is growing stronger, discovers their existence, with a glowing blue crystal shown. The blindfolded, old white-haired man, Ilden Vernars, sighs and reluctantly admits he has no choice. The blindfolded, old white-haired man, Ilden Vernars, informs the dark-haired man, Mord, that he can only allow 8 months, making Mord realize Ilden's high expectations. Narrative text explains Ilden's obsession with finding a substitute to fell the Archduke, having put everything into making Leon the Archduke. The dark-haired man, Mord, thinks he doesn't know the reason but sees this as a good opportunity. The dark-haired man, Mord, accepts Ilden's terms and thanks him for his generosity. The blindfolded old white-haired man, Ilden Vernars, thinks that the dark-haired man, Mord, is stronger than the Archduke was at his age and, despite his illegitimate blood, can serve as the Archduke's shadow, expressing excitement for the outcome. A dark-haired man greets his master, and another voice replies, "Yeah," as a new scene opens under a bright sky with a distant castle. The dark-haired man walks with another dark-haired man, questioning the soldiers present, to which the other dark-haired man replies, They are Lady Erna's subordinates. The dark-haired man looks surprised as the other dark-haired man informs him that Lady Erna is waiting inside. The blonde-haired woman, Lady Erna, is greeted by the dark-haired man, Mord, who then agrees to her request to drop the formalities. Lady Erna offers the dark-haired man a decorative box, instructing him to take it, and he asks what it is. Lady Erna asks the dark-haired man if Dren gave him something nice, to which the dark-haired man replies, he received an expensive healing potion. Lady Erna smiles, telling the dark-haired man her gift is better, and instructs him to open it, stating she didn't want him to leave having received something nice only from Dren. A glowing blue orb, the god of combat's tears, is revealed inside the box, surprising the dark-haired man who exclaims in shock. Narrative text describes the glowing orb as a treasure that makes humans a whole dimension stronger. Narrative text explains the god of combat's tears is a life-or-death trial a magic combat fighter can only attempt once, offering a chance for a significant leap in power. Narrative text recounts that Aiden previously gifted this item to Leon Vernars, reinforcing his strength. Narrative text reveals that another person who tried to use this power was consumed by it and died, as the blue orb lies on a blood-stained floor. Lady Erna explains she received the valuable item as a birthday gift when she was 10, warning that it could become poison if not handled properly. Lady Erna advises the dark-haired man to take the item when he's ready, reassuring him it won't kill him, as he asks if she has taken one herself, to which she confirms she has. Lady Erna explains she received her own God of Combat's Tears 2 years ago from a royal family member she helped during a raid, finding it more meaningful than her birthday gift, so she used that one and saved this. The dark-haired man, holding the glowing blue orb, realizes this valuable potion was originally possessed by only 3 succession candidates, feeling surprised by the gift. The dark-haired man thanks Lady Erna for the valuable gift, and she wishes him well, telling him to take care of himself. Lady Erna smiles and gives a thumbs up, assuring the dark-haired man they can talk again once he's back safe and sound. As Lady Erna and her subordinates depart, the dark-haired man thinks she came solely to deliver that gift to him. The dark-haired man with glowing blue eyes vows to remember that Lady Erna valued him deeply. The dark-haired man continues to think that Lady Erna valued him this much despite him not yet being on her side as she walks away. 20 days later, the dark-haired man walks along the exterior of a large building as evening approaches. Squeak a hand taps the dark-haired man's shoulder, making him turn around. A voice questions, "Sir Kessner?" revealing the identity of the blonde-haired man. Kessner, the blonde-haired man, sighs, admitting he cannot fool Mord, and acknowledges that Mord is truly leaving. Kessner expresses concern that the dark-haired man is only 15 and needs a guardian despite his strength, questioning his decision to go to the north. The dark-haired man recalls that Kessner, unlike other candidates, did not try to establish dominance over him or impede his way. The dark-haired man further reflects that Kessner was not envious of his abilities and did not attempt to use him. The dark-haired man's thoughts shift to the blindfolded old white-haired man, Ilden Vernars, recalling Ilden's thoughtful and kind demeanor. The dark-haired man vows to repay Ilden's kindness and reassures Kessner not to worry, asking if he believes Mord can now take care of himself. The dark-haired man promises Kessner he will return to see him and bring back a good drink to celebrate. Kessner sighs, resignedly admitting he cannot stop the dark-haired man from leaving. Kessner wishes the dark-haired man luck and health until their next meeting, as they shake hands. The dark-haired man walks away from the large castle and into the vast, open landscape. A small figure, the dark-haired man, is seen furtively leaving through a castle gate. A blade suddenly appears, aimed at a crouching figure as a whoosh sound emanates from the surrounding bushes. The dark-haired man, Mord, looks surprised by the sudden ambush. Leaves rustle as the dark-haired man, Mord, stands before a large, closed gate, looking around cautiously. Narrative text defines the first 3 levels of impulse, sword and body impulse, concentrating impulse into gauntlet-like shapes and reinforcing or imbuing objects with impulse. Narrative text explains the 4th level of impulse, involves condensing and accelerating it for explosive power, and hints at a challenging 5th level. Narrative text reveals the 5th level of impulse is aura, a power only master-rank magic combat artists can control through immense talent and effort. It's 20 days after Ilden's training, during which Ilden, unsatisfied with mere duels, taught Mord extensively, including energy blasts. Narrative text concludes that while the dark-haired man has grown much stronger due to the training, he is still far from reaching aura. The dark-haired man, Mord, with his glowing blue eyes, intensely observes the luminous blue orb. The dark-haired man, Mord, holding the glowing blue orb, contemplates that consuming it could make reaching the next level possible. The dark-haired man, Mord, walks, thinking that the Archduke's warriors will soon ambush him, aiming to intercept him before he reaches the northern region. Swoosh, thud. The dark-haired man, Mord, rushes forward with immense speed, kicking up dust and debris. The dark-haired man, Mord, looks up thinking, "Damn," and speak of the devil, as a volley of arrows descends towards him. The dark-haired man, Mord, looks up to see numerous red eyes glowing from the trees and a large group of armed soldiers positioned on a high rocky outcrop. The smiling man on the rock orders, "Fire," unleashing a barrage of arrows upon the lone figure below. Quang, quang, quang. An explosion rocks the area, and the soldiers confidently declare the attack over, believing the dark-haired man could not have dodged thousands of arrows. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. The white-haired man, Mord, now surrounded by a powerful blue aura, stands unfazed amidst the countless arrows stuck in the ground around him, having awakened his divine blood. Clang soldiers react with shock, exclaiming about the seals, and wondering how Mord awakened his divine blood so quickly. Hooded figures initiate an attack with a magical circle as a fiery explosion erupts below them. The white-haired man, Mord, stands resiliently, cloaked in a blue aura, as a powerful, fiery blast rages around him. The white-haired man, Mord, with intense blue eyes, concentrates his power, conjuring multiple blue energy blasts. The forest floor is littered with defeated bodies, some hanging from trees, the grim aftermath of a brutal confrontation. A large blue energy shield pulses as a voice gasps, finding such power impossible to contend with. A hooded figure expresses shock that Mord countered their fire with an impulse explosion, noting his power has significantly increased. A masked man, surprised, muses that Mord is far more capable than he had been led to believe. The white-haired man, Mord, stands confidently with his glowing blue aura, seemingly contemplating his next move. The white-haired man, Mord, surges forward with immense speed and power, emanating crackling blue energy. The white-haired man, Mord, observes his fist, noting with a thoughtful hum that his punch felt like striking a shield. The white-haired man, Mord, wielding a glowing sword, declares he will punch harder as he attacks, surprising the dark-haired man. The dark-haired man reacts with wide-eyed shock and alarm, his expression hinting at a profound realization. The dark-haired man realizes in shock that Mord is using an aura gauntlet, a powerful form of condensed energy. The white-haired man, Mord, with a determined expression, channels glowing yellow energy into his hands, surrounded by crackling blue power. The white-haired man, Mord, delivers a powerful kick, sending the dark-haired man flying with a surge of energy. The white-haired man, Mord, fiercely attacks with his glowing sword, clashing against another dark-haired man's defense. The dark-haired man reels back, clearly pained and overwhelmed by the powerful impact from Mord's attack. The defeated dark-haired man, looking up at the white-haired man, Mord, declares he knows who Mord is. The kneeling dark-haired man, Varen, asks how Mord knows him, to which Mord coolly replies he's seen him at the training center and the banquet hall. The dark-haired man, Varen, is identified as a master-rank magic combat artist who is sly and ill-tempered, a warning apparently given about him. The dark-haired man, Varen, angrily demands who revealed details about him, but Mord offers to disclose the information only if his own question is answered first. The white-haired man, Mord, confronting the dark-haired man, Varen, accuses him of being the Archduke's loyal agent sent to pursue him. The powerful Archduke Vernars is revealed as a villain, who is likely pursuing Mord because of a mysterious fruit he holds. The simple, horrific reason for the Archduke's villainy is revealed: the sin of eating his own children, represented by a human figure within the fruit. The dark-haired man, Varen, recoils in utter shock and horror, unable to articulate his surprise. The white-haired man, Mord, his blue aura flaring, fiercely demands to know how Varen uncovered the Archduke's secret.